Mayor Baxter,
Here.
Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Powell,
Here.
Commissioner Sacks, Commissioner Weiss, Vice Mayor Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. There it is. Commissioner Woodward, would you lead us in the prayer today, please? And the invocation. If you're able, please stand.
Dear God, we are thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Administrator, do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions? Administrator Abruzzo?
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have an addition, page 12, 3C2. It's a revised summary. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Moving on to consent. Would anyone like to pull anything? Administrator?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have one other addition that just came in. On page 49, item 3AA2 is deleted. Thank you,
I
Madam
need
Mayor.
a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
I need a first from Vice Mayor Woodward, a second from Commissioner Weiss. All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to pull an item from consent, please.
Which item would you like to pull?
3H2.
Okay, so we're going to do this again. I'd like to have a motion to approve the amended agenda with the addition and pulling one from consent.
Madam, I also want to pull an item from consent.
Okay?
Page 42, 3M5,
3 and 5. What's the?
3M,
3M5.
3M-5.
Anyone else? Clerk?
Mayor, can we please have Commissioner Marino's item restated, please?
I'd like to pull item 3H2, page 23.
Okay. We do have, attorney, should we re-vote on the new addition before we take on consent?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you have to
Okay,
do that.
so I believe I had a first by Commissioner Woodward, a second by, Vice Mayor Woodward, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor?
Aye.
Please see that that motion carries 5-0. Just for the addition. Now we'll move on to consent. All right, so we do have a card on consent.
Yes. Lindy Harvey for 3DD1.
Please state your name for the record.
Lindy Harvey.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor Baxter, Vice Mayor Woodward, County Commissioners, and County Administrator Abruzzo. My name is Lindy Harvey. I have the privilege of serving as Executive Director of Spirit of Giving. And with your partnership last year, we were able to support more than 12,000 children across Palm Beach County, ensuring that they started the school year not only with essential school supplies, but also with access to many important community resources that mean so much to their families. We are honored to collaborate with Palm Beach County, the Office of Community Revitalization, and special thanks to Houston Tate and Ruth Mogolinsky, as well as Children's Service Council and PBSO. This partnership is truly what makes the scale and the impact of this initiative possible. Because of this collaboration, we are able to reach children who need us the most right where they are in their neighborhoods throughout the county. Thank you for supporting this large-scale, county-wide, multi-site event. Your commitment ensures that thousands of our county's children begin the school year with dignity, confidence, and the tools they need to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, pulling 3H2 and 3M5.
So moved.
I have a first by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. We will start with the items pulled, page 23, 3H2. Commissioner
Really?
Marino, you're recognized.
Really just a quick question.
Good morning, staff.
Thank you all for being here. Just a quick question. I realize it's only the 4 counties and the dues are going down, but ours go down 20,000 and Monroe goes down to 5. I realize they are fiscally constrained. Again, we are a donor county, but how did you come up with 5?
Good morning, Madam Mayor, and Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Thank you for having me. I'm Megan Houston with FDO Burr, joined by Val Alvarez, our newest staff member, and Jason Crosby. The question you're asking about contribution amounts is something that has arisen in the last few months with fiscal constraints on Monroe's side, and so they were trying to come up with something that would work for them to get them through this year as they're reevaluating their budget constraints. So there we go.
And that was it.
So does this mean this is something that's going to be revisited again in the future?
Correct. We are looking, this is a stopgap year, if you will, to figure out how to apportion contributions. In the history of the compact from 2009, there has been equal contribution, but we're looking at population and compared to Miami-Dade or even us, right, Monroe County from a population standpoint and from a budget and property tax standpoint is in a different area than we are. So throughout these next few months, we're going to be revisiting this partnership and looking at those amounts and contributions for the current, well, for the ILA that will have to come back to the board in the summer of 2026 for your consideration.
So in the future, there might be a different formula for collecting?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all I had.
Would you like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion to approve 3H2.
I have a first by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Next, we will move to page 42, 3M5. Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This item is related to the City of Riviera Beach's aquatic facility, currently Barracuda Bay. It will be coming offline. It's offline currently to make room, as it says here, for the new headquarters for the Riviera Beach Police Department. I've had conversations with the city, and the city staff are here, as well as the mayor of Riviera Beach, the city manager, the chief, and the deputy chief are here. One of the issues that I wanted to discuss with the city prior to today is some memorandums of understanding, some agreements with some of the local swimming pools, some of the local municipalities with regard to agreements for children and senior citizens to be able to have access to those aquatic resources, in addition to the timeline that we discussed with regard to going back online. So I want to make a motion to defer this today and to continue to have those conversations with the city and to move this to our next, I guess, the next agenda?
The next agenda for December?
No,
For January.
It would be for January.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? To defer this to January? Second. To postpone it till
Postpone,
January?
yes.
Yes. Okay, so I have a first by Commissioner Powell, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor?
Aye.
Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
And for the record, Madam Mayor, I just want to make sure we have I like to believe that I'm Riviera Beach's finest, but the truth is, Riviera Beach's finest are in the building, the Riviera Beach Police Department, as well as, when we said the city staff, I want to make sure that people understand that since Chief Coleman has become the chief of police in Riviera Beach, we've seen significant changes. We've seen an increase in morale in terms of the city and the citizens. So I want to applaud them for that. I want to applaud the city manager and make sure people understand this is no slight at all on the police department. And I'm completely for the development and renewing of the police department, but I want to make sure that we do things proper and in order, that we're also looking out for the recreational facilities. Florida is #1 in child drowning deaths, and it's incumbent upon us to make sure we recognize that and continue to move in that direction. So we will move this to the next meeting and we'll continue to have conversations. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We are going to move on to the regular agenda, or excuse me, before we get there, we will do special presentations. We've reordered because Commissioner Flores will be late, so his proclamation will be last. So District 3's will be removed. So we're going to start with District 7 and District 4, then back to District 7 and District 2.
If I may, Mayor, thank you. We're waiting for Representative David Silvers to come for 4F, University of Miami. So if I could have that before we go to the last one, which would be Commissioner Flores.
Absolutely.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to have, in order of Mrs. Althea Holmes Hall Day, to have Ms. Althea Holmes Hall, Ms. Brenda Winfrey, Mr. Wendell Hall, and Kathy Hall come up, if you can, as I present this proclamation in honor of Ms. Althea Holmes Hall Day. And as they come, I'll start with the proclamation. This is a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County declaring December 23rd, 2025 as Ms. Althea Holmes Hall Day. Whereas Ms. Althea Holmes Hall has been a resident of Palm Beach County her entire life, and Ms. Althea Holmes Hall was born on December 23rd, 1925, to Zema and Rosina Holmes. And it is a privilege to celebrate her 100th birthday. And Miss Althea Holmes Hall has many joyful memories of her sisters that preceded her in death: Naomi Jones, Hattie White, Frances Barnes, and Beatrice Holmes. And Ms. Holmes Hall, through 2 marriages, was a mother to 6 children: Eugene Pleasant, Richard Pleasant, Earl Pleasant, Shirley Hall Miller, Wendell Hall, and Brenda Hall Winfrey. She is also a grandmother to many and a great-grandmother, Gigi, imparting love and wisdom to all. And whereas Ms. Althea Holmes Hall has served as a volunteer for the Grays Ladies, a volunteer nurse organization, a member of the Jolly Savage Club, and a dedicated longtime member of Payne Chapel AME Church. And whereas Palm Beach County takes great pride in honoring its centenarians, let me say that right, centenarians, whose lives are woven into the fabric of our country's history and who serve as treasured links to our past. And on December 23rd, 2025, all residents are encouraged to join in celebrating and honoring the 100th birthday of Miss Althea Holmes Hall for a life full of serving, sharing, giving, and most of all, love. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this second day of December 2025, that December 23rd, 2025 is hereby proclaimed Miss Althea Holmes Hall Day.
Giving thanks to the Lord. I thank you today. I thank my family, my children. I've been here a long time and I had a good life. I was a member of Payne Chapel for 80 years and still going and still doing. And I thank you today for everything.
Okay, that's a tough one to follow. Happy birthday. If I could please have Keon McDavis Sr., Jason Bond, and everyone else here on behalf of Sigma Delta Delta Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, also known as all the good-looking men dressed in purple here this morning. So today we are honoring the Sigma Delta Delta Chapter for 30 years of distinguished service. Whereas the Sigma Delta Delta Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Inc. was chartered in 1995 with a vision to uplift communities through leadership, service, and brotherhood. And whereas for 3 decades, the chapter has embodied the organization's 4 cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift, serving as a beacon of positive change and civic engagement in the city of Boca Raton, the campus of Florida Atlantic University, and the surrounding communities of Lake Worth, Boynton Beach, and Delray Beach. And whereas the Sigma Delta Delta chapter has contributed countless volunteer hours through youth mentorship programs, community cleanups, food drives, scholarship initiatives, and voter education campaigns, helping to enhance the quality of life and foster civic pride among residents. And whereas the chapter has played a pivotal role in the campus of Florida Atlantic University, promoting academic excellence, cultural awareness, and leadership development, inspiring generations of students to serve and lead in their communities. And whereas the chapter's long-standing partnerships with the advising graduate chapter of Lambda Alpha Alpha, schools and local governments have resulted in impactful service programs such as back-to-school drives, Thanksgiving and holiday food distributions, health awareness events, and youth leadership summits. And whereas the Sigma Delta Delta chapter has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to building stronger communities and advancing opportunities for all residents, exemplifying the highest standards of civic responsibility and brotherhood. And whereas, as the chapter commemorates its 30th charter anniversary, it is fitting and proper that the city and county recognizes the honors and honors their outstanding legacy of service, leadership, and dedication to the betterment of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the second day of December 2025, that Palm Beach County is hereby honoring the Sigma Delta Delta chapter for 30 years of service.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Sigma Delta Delta chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, we would like to thank the Palm Beach County of Commissioners for this distinguished honor. The Sigma Delta Delta chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity was chartered December 7th, 1995 by 9 distinguished brothers. Since its chartering, Sigma Delta Delta has been a pillar of leadership, service, and brotherhood in Boca Raton, Florida Atlantic University, and surrounding communities. Over the past 3 decades, Sigma Delta Delta has served through student leadership development, academic achievement initiatives, and civic engagement programs, which includes community cleanups, food and clothing drives, scholarship programs, and youth mentorship. Once again, we would like to thank you for this honor, and we will continue to serve and implement a positive impact to our community. Thank you all.
While they take pictures, we'll continue in the theme of the Divine Nine. This is a proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County recognizing the 35th anniversary of the Omicron Delta Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. If I could have Miss Valencia Spells Anderson, Katima Thomas, Seda Proctor, Carisha Mash, Chandra McKinney Clark to come forward. Today we recognize the 35th anniversary. Whereas Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, founded on January 16, 1920 at Howard University in Washington, D.C., stands as a community-conscious, action-oriented organization committed to scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. And the Omicron Delta Zeta chapter, chartered in Delray Beach on December 19, 1990, has for 35 years exemplified the values and ideas of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, serving as a beacon of leadership, service, and advocacy within Delray Beach, Boca Raton, Boynton Beach, and South Palm Beach County. And whereas Omicron Delta Zeta chapter has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to youth through the extraordinary Crowns Blue Review, awarding scholarship, cultivating leadership, and inspiring the next generation. And the chapter has made transformative contributions through its programs addressing health, equity, education, social justice, and economic empowerment, and has strengthened community bonds through partnerships and philanthropy led by the Zeta Pearl Foundation Incorporated. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 35th anniversary of the Omicron Delta Zeta chapter, celebrated with the theme Blue Renaissance, a legacy reimagined, honoring the chapter's legacy of excellence, visionary leadership, and ongoing impact in the community. And whereas we recognize and commend the Omicron Delta Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated for its 35 years of outstanding service, leadership, and dedication to uplifting the community, and we extend best wishes for continued success and a future filled with greater achievements. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this second day of December 2025, we hereby recognize today as the 35th anniversary of the Omicron Delta Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Good morning. On behalf of the outstanding Omicron Delta Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, I'd like to thank you all for honoring us today with this proclamation. We're grateful for your recognition and the commitment you continue to show towards strengthening our county and the communities in our county. So thank you for seeing us, supporting us, celebrating the work that we do.
As they're waiting, or as they're taking their picture, I'd like to ask my colleague, Commissioner Marino, to join me at the lectern here. And Seth, Dr. Bernstein, where are you? Oh, here you are. Good morning. And you brought your entourage.
Yes, and my wife and my work family and some county supporters as well.
Wow, excellent. Well, this is quite an honorable and auspicious occasion this morning. We are going to be declaring December 19th, 2025 as Dr. Seth Bernstein Day in Palm Beach County. I just have to say this. My family, on my mother's side, their name was Bernstein, but it got changed when they came into this country to Berenstain. So I don't know, we may be related somewhere way back when, but that had nothing to do with this proclamation. We are declaring Dr. Seth Bernstein has lived, worked, and played in Palm Beach County for over 32 years and has significantly contributed to the health and human services landscape through his work at the Healthcare District, Boys Town, and United Way of Palm Beach County. Whereas, working in the United Way for 26 years, first as a volunteer and then as Executive Vice President of Community Investments, Dr. Bernstein has been at the forefront of numerous major efforts to support our community. He was instrumental in expanding mentoring programs for youth through our Level Up program, which received the Best in Category recognition by the National Association of Counties. And as a licensed psychologist, Dr. Bernstein helped launch the Birth to 22 initiative and co-chairs the Becoming a Trauma-Informed Community Action Team. And whereas Dr. Seth Bernstein will be retiring on December 19th, 2025, and whereas Seth's influence in behavioral health, hunger relief, special needs, school health, and wellness and philanthropic leadership will be felt for decades to come. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on the second day of December 2025, that December 19th, 2025 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Dr. Seth Bernstein Day. Congratulations, and thank you for your service for so many years.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, Commissioners Weiss and Marino, and Mayor, Vice Mayor, other commissioners, Administrator Abruzzo, and County Administration and staff. It's an honor to be up here in front of you. I'd like to make a special recognition of Tammy Fields and her teams, all who couldn't be here today. But they've been incredible partners for me personally and for us at United Way through the years and all of our initiatives that we do to support the community of Palm Beach County. As I said, it's quite an honor to be here to receive this recognition and to get a whole day in my honor. I would have been happy with just an hour. But thank you so much for this. It's been amazing partnering with the county in various ways throughout my 3+ decades here. I've had the opportunity to learn from so many county and other leaders, and I'm very proud of the initiatives that we've collaborated on towards bettering our community. I'd like to recognize my colleagues at the United Way, some of which are here. Oh, and some others that I didn't realize would be here. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica. Especially our President and CEO, Dr. Lori George, who I think lots of you know. Oh, hi, Lauren. And I've just been so fortunate to know Lori and work with her for almost 30 years. It's been incredible. And as United Way is approaching our 100th anniversary, In 2029, there will be so much to celebrate about its widespread impact in the community, and I'm so proud to have been a part of the amazing organization. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here in Palm Beach County. I'll continue to be involved in the health and human services and nonprofit sector in some way, and I'm sure my wife, Rona, will want me out of the house as much as possible, of course. And I'd like to thank you, Rona, for being amazingly supportive of my work through the years. Give her a round of applause, please. Again, thank you very much for this recognition, and thank you for all of your service, Commissioners and Administrator Brusso, for helping our community be the best community ever. Thank you again.
Congratulations again. And as they prepare to take pictures, I would like to have Siobhan Algie, president of the Zeta Tau Omega chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Naomi Cole, with her daughter Karen Cole Smith. Naomi Cole is a charter member of Zeta Tau Omega. Tanya Burke, and Ms. Cheryl Johnson, Ms. Anna Rogier, Ms. Linda Long, Ms. Carmen Richardson, Ms. Dolores Calloway, Ms. Sheila Harvey, Ms. Denise Albritton, and Ms. Janice Reed Bridges, as well as any other members of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated who are here to please come front and center. Today, we declare December 10th, 2025 as Zeta Tau Omega Day. Whereas Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is the oldest Greek-lettered sorority founded by African American college-educated women. Established on January 15th, 1908 at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Its mission is to promote high scholastic and ethical standards, unity among college women, and most importantly, to be of service to all mankind. It has grown to over 390,000 initiated members in more than 1,105 chapters worldwide across 14 nations and territories. Whereas, continuing the sorority's mission locally, a group of trailblazing women saw a need to establish a chapter in West Palm Beach. Zeta Tau Omega became the first graduate chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated in Palm Beach County. On December 10th, 1995, the chapter was chartered by the following charter members: Geneva Boynton, Vernice Williams Butler, Clayton Lowe Coleman, Naomi Daniels Cole, who is with us today, Lillian Hurst, Bernadine E. Lazier, Doris Matthews, E. Bernadine Cousins Murray, Louise Murray Bowman, Ardis Orr, Juanita Orr, Marion Orr, Dolores Robinson Powdrill, Novik Mitchell Stubbs, and Evangeline Wilburn. Murtis E. Burke, the first member to transfer into Zeta Tau Omega, also worked alongside these women to ensure the chapter was established. And for 70 years, Zeta Tau Omega has championed initiatives that uplift communities through civic engagement, youth leadership, economic empowerment. Some of the chapter's impactful programs are Children's Hunger Initiatives, the MLK Day of Service, Mental Health Awareness, Black Dollar Days, Local Community Impact, and Voter Education and Registration. And whereas the youth enrichment programs include Precious Pearls, a middle school program, 20 Pearls, a high school program, Community Youth Outreach, and Promptique. Through the Ivy Educational Foundation, the chapter has awarded over $850,000 in scholarship. Other strong partnerships include Sojourners with Healing Hearts, dealing with breast cancer, Palm Beach Children's Hospital, Sickle Cell Foundation, and Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, reflecting a deep commitment to advancing healthcare. And Zeta Tau Omega is commended for providing Palm Beach County with 70 years of humanitarian services since 1955. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session on this second day of December 2025, that December 10th, 2025 is recognized and proclaimed Zeta Tau Omega Day for the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Good morning. On behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, we sincerely thank you, the Board of County Commissioners and Commissioner Mr. Powell, for issuing this official proclamation in recognition of our 70th anniversary. Your support uplifts our work and inspires us to continue to make a positive impact in the community. We are truly grateful, and we are so honored to have with us our last remaining charter member, Mrs. Naomi Cole. Would you like to say a few words?
I would just like to say thanks for the honor.
Thank you again for this honor.
While they take pictures, I would like to call up Mary Blakeney and Steve Weigel. Good morning. Today, we are declaring December 12th, 2025 as Steve Weigel Day. Whereas WPTV Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel is retiring after 27 years with the station. After moving to Palm Beach County in 1998 from his native Nova Scotia, where he had previously worked for the Canadian Weather Service, and became an American citizen in 2014. Whereas Steve Weigel holds science degrees in math and physics, as well as a graduate degree in meteorology, and received the CBM seal from the American Meteorologists Society, the highest seal awarded to the television meteorologists. Whereas he has made substantial contributions to the Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast through hurricane preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation efforts in his multi-county coverage area, he has served as the Master of Ceremonies for the Governor's Hurricane Conference. And whereas Steve is the calm voice in the storm, his career highlights include coverage of Hurricane Francis in 2004, taking South Floridians through the storm for 67 hours straight. Hurricane Jeanne which struck 3 weeks later, Hurricane Wilma in 2005, the August 2003 tornado through northern Palm Beach County, damaging his own home, and the tornadoes associated with Hurricane Milton in 2024. Whereas his hobbies include running, cycling, boating, and in 1999, Steve Weigel kicked off his annual Ride for the Red Cross, a 5-day bike ride from Sebastian to Boca Raton to mark the start of hurricane season, to educate viewers about hurricane preparedness, while raising support for the local Red Cross and encouraging volunteerism and monetary donations. Whereas Steve Weigel has reported a wide range of weather conditions, even sounding snuggle alerts, to inform viewers that the coldest air of the season moves into South Florida. Whereas Palm Beach County Administration and Public Safety Emergency Management express sincere gratitude for the decades of a successful working relationship alongside Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel and his dedication to the safety of our county residents and visitors. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County that December 12th, 2025 is hereby proclaimed Steve Weigel Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all the commissioners. This is a great honor. I really appreciate this. I thought I might be getting this because there were no hurricanes this year. It's been a real honor, and I'm glad Mary is here with me because we grew up together, didn't we? And our partnership with Palm Beach County Emergency Management has been unbelievable over the years. I mean, in Hurricane Francis, Mary, if you don't know, runs Palm Beach County Emergency Management. We did videos at her house getting people prepared, and those videos ran during Francis and Jean. And Mary became a household name because she said she'd get recognized at the mall and just walking down the street because people, that information was invaluable in keeping residents safe during the hurricanes. And it's been a real honor to serve as a voice in the hurricanes. You know, everyone can do Partly Sunny every day, but there's a special bond with, with hurricane coverage because people still come up and say, you got me through the storm. I hear the same story all the time. I got you through the storm. I was in my closet listening to your voice. And that's a bond that can never be taken away. So thank you very much. And thank you to my station, my wife who has put up with me for, because I, like a lot of you, I have to leave my wife and go to the station, and she rides out the storms. And so thank you so much. And thank you, Mary, and thank you to everyone in Palm Beach County. I really appreciate it.
While they're taking their picture, let the record reflect that Commissioner Flores is in the house. I apologize, I was a little late this morning. I was actually doing Government Day at Green Acres Elementary, and I think it's truly important that our youth get to meet our leaders and that they get to hear some of our stories too. So that's where I was this morning. I apologize, I'm a little bit late. Moving on, we are declaring National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. I would like to call up PBSO Traffic Division Unit to come up, Captain Ryan Mugridge. I hope I didn't butcher that. I apologize in advance. And Rachel Lamar, Executive Director for South Region of Mothers Against Drunk Driving. We're declaring December 2025 as National Impaired Driving Prevention Month, whereas it is vital to remember and honor the individuals who have died, been harmed, or suffered emotional trauma due to motor vehicle accidents caused by impaired drivers. And whereas data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration shows that December is the deadliest month of the year for drunk driving vehicle accidents, making prevention efforts more vital during the holiday season. And whereas, according to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, in 2024, there were 2,133 drivers arrested in Palm Beach County for driving under the influence of alcohol or narcotics, 1,033 total crashes, 45 fatalities, and 49 serious injuries, all caused by impaired drivers, and whereas these tragedies are entirely preventable through education, enforcement, and personal responsibility. And whereas the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office DUI unit plays a crucial role in protecting our roads through DUI enforcement operations, public education campaigns, and partnerships that promote safe, sober driving. And whereas Mothers Against Drunk Driving, also known as MADD, has been a steadfast advocate for victims and families affected by impaired driving, while leading communities outreach, victim support programs, and awareness initiatives across Palm Beach County, and where all members of our community are called upon to stand with local partners in educating the public and honoring the victims and survivors of impaired driving. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled on this regular session on the second day of December 2025, that December 2025 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed National Impaired Driving Prevention Month.
On behalf of MADD South Florida, I'd like to thank you, Commissioner Flores, for issuing the proclamation recognizing National Impaired Driving Prevention Month. MADD is honored to stand with Palm Beach County leaders, community partners, and brave law enforcement officers who work every day to keep our roads safe. Together, we remain committed to ending impaired driving and supporting victims and survivors. As we enter the holiday season, please remember to plan ahead. If your celebrations include alcohol, ensure you have a safe ride home, whether that is a rideshare, taxi, a sober designated driver. Make sure you get home to your family safe. Thank you.
Commissioner Flores, if you would have everyone join us up here. All the commissioners would like to take a picture.
Saving the best for last. Are there any University of Miami graduates here? All right, come on up, come on up. We're state champs. Come on up. Form right over here. Because we are declaring, I know there's some wannabe University of Miami grads, but just stay. It's all about the U, right? Because we are going to declare this week, this day, as Miami Centennial Day. Do you believe that the University of Miami was chartered in 1925? Not even you remember that. It was by a group of citizens who felt that an institute of higher learning was needed for the development of their growing community in Miami. One of the reasons they wanted to develop this university, to create it really, was to develop inter-American studies and to further creative work in the arts and letters. Sylvester Stallone went to the University of Miami, and to conduct teaching and research programs in tropical studies. So whereas the University of Miami has been a cornerstone of academic excellence and community involvement for a century, 100 years, 12 distinguished schools and colleges, the University of Miami is at the forefront of knowledge and discovery across disciplines. And whereas as a member of the prestigious Association of American Universities since 2023, it's recognized nationally for its research, its Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, and its fight against cancer through groundbreaking research and patient care. And the reason I can read this letter right now is because of the Baskin Palmer Eye Institute, which I went to for my eyes. I need the glasses, has been ranked the nation's #1 eye institute by U.S. and News World Report. The university's impact extends beyond academics and research with the University of Miami Health System, serving as a premier academic medical center, training the next generation of healthcare professionals. Now, let's get to the real nitty-gritty of the University of Miami. It is what in sports? #1 in football for the state, University of Miami Hurricanes. So with a global network of over 200,000 alumni, some of which are here today, and some of which are throughout the world with the University of Miami background. We have had an impact in all academics as well as in research and education. So therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session the second day of December 2025, that this day will be known as the University of Miami Centennial Day. I want to congratulate everybody who went to the University of Miami, those of our children and grandchildren who will aspire to go to the University of Miami. And we also have here today a state representative who is a graduate of the University of Miami, State Representative David Silvers. His mom, Lori, also is a graduate of the University of Miami. We have Deborah Drum, who is the head of our environmental environmental research and everything that they do for our environment. And also, we have so many of you here who are, and I know I'd like to invite our county administrator to come and join us in this picture. We also have David Pallini, who's the president of the Palm Beach Alumni Chapter, with us today. So with that, I would like to hand this over to you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Sachs, for that introduction. My name is David Paolini. I represent the Palm Beach County Canes, which is the local chapter of our Worldwide Alumni Association. On behalf of the president, the faculty, the administration, and over 200,000 worldwide alumni, including 11,000 alumni here in Palm Beach County, it's my honor to accept your proclamation representing the contributions of the university over the past 100 years. Thank you to Commissioner Sachs, a fellow UM alumni, for sponsoring this proclamation, and also the mayor and the vice mayor, and the entire Palm Beach County Commission for your support. I would also like to thank Representative David Silvers and Krista Downey, who joined me today. We're all grateful to represent the university and our Palm Beach County contributions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pallini. Representative Silvers, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you very much, County Commissioner. This is an incredible honor for the University of Miami, and it's an honor for myself to be up here as a proud UM alum. I've seen UM grow so much over the past, since I was a child. I was growing up in Miami. It's become the preeminent university in medical research, not just around the country, but around the world. And I'm proud to be an alum, and it's really incredible to see what the university has done in those 100 years and putting together one of the best athletic programs around the country, and probably like to say, definitely a top 10 football program. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to say something? Very good, and let's do the picture. All right, thank you very much. All right, here we go.
All right, and when they'll do their picture, we are proclaiming December 7th as National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. So I'm going to call up Natalie Velasquez, Senior and Veteran Service Division at Palm Beach County Community Services, to come up to join me, and any and all veterans to also come up and join me. So declaring December 7th, 2025 as Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, whereas on the morning of December 7th, 1941, the United States Naval Base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, was attacked by Japanese Imperial Navy, provoking the entry of the United States into World War II, and marking one of the most pivotal moments in world history. And whereas 2,403 American military personnel, including sailors, soldiers, and civilians, were killed in the attack of Pearl Harbor, and 1,178 were wounded. And whereas Palm Beach County is home to countless veterans and their families whose service and patriotism continues to reflect the bravery of those who stood at Pearl Harbor on that fateful day. Whereas our community continues to preserve the history and sacrifice and lessons of the attack on Pearl Harbor, so future generations may understand the profound cost of protecting our nation. And whereas local veteran service organizations and the Palm Beach County Division of Senior and Veteran Services continues to honor the legacy of all who have served and sacrificed to protect the freedom we cherish today. Whereas we recognize Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day as a solemn opportunity to honor those who perished, those who survived, and all those who answered the country's call to defend liberty and peace around the world. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in this regular session on the second day of December 2025, that December 7th, 2025 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Commissioner Flores, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of County Commissioners, Administrator Abruzzo. It is a distinct honor as a World War II, the son of a World War II vet. I don't take it lightly or take it for granted. Those who have served our country and have provided us the freedoms that we have today. And so I just want to thank you for the acknowledgement and the remembrance of Pearl Harbor, which led to World War II, and for all of the veterans who are behind me, who served this country and who continue to serve and to give us the freedoms that we have today. So thank you.
You want to be up front here?
Yeah, good. Ladies in front. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
I've seen all these friends and stuff. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Clerk, I know he did it himself, but did we recognize that Commissioner Flores arrived? Thank you. We're going to move on to the regular agenda. We have,
Mayor,
yes?
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file proof of publication.
I have a first from Commissioner Weiss, a second from Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Moving on, fire rescue. Good morning. Mr. Von Laren, are you speaking, or?
I can very briefly. Madam Mayor.
You promise?
I promise. Before you is the public hearing that we have. We did the notice for this date for the ordinance regarding the Jupiter Municipal Taxing Service Unit, the MSTU, for Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. And this is removing the town from that MSTU and eliminating the Jupiter MSTU under the prescribed dates that are laid out in the ordinance. We can provide any additional background information if you like, but I know we've spent a number of times communicating this with various members of the board, and I believe there may be some representatives from Jupiter with us today as well. So thank you.
Do we have any cards on this item? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adopt.
Second.
I have a first from Commissioner Marino, a second from Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on. 5B1. cards. It's under one number, they only get one card. Like if it's NBC. On every different project? Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, if you would like to.
Sure.
Please.
So for the record, Stephanie Shanahan, Director of Public Safety. With me is Todd Von Laren, Chief Deputy County Administrator, Sharon Burrows, Assistant County Attorney, Mary Blakeney, Division Director for Emergency Management, Chief Ippolito from Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue, and Rich Ellis, our Deputy Director for Emergency Management. So the item before you today is requesting adoption of our Emergency Medical Services Ordinance. We went over this a number of times. We did a brief presentation on November 4th where we recommended preliminary reading on this ordinance, and the changes that were made as a result of the direction from last meeting was to change the years of experience for the company, the manager, from 3 to 5 years. All other changes that were recommended on November 4th stayed the same. So with that, I can do a presentation if you'd like, but it's the same presentation that we had back on November.
Unless anyone wants to see a repeat? Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Sorry, before we do that, we need a motion to receive and file this document, so I'll make that
Are you
motion.
Thank you. I have a first from Commissioner Marino, a second from Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
I'll make the motion we approve 5B1.
I have a first by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Thank you, everyone.
you.
Of course, Commissioner Flores. you're recognized.
Quick question before you, just to confirm that we went from 3 to 5 years for management experience, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have 5C1, Housing and Economic Development. I will entertain a motion to receive and file proof of publication.
So moved.
I have a first by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Commissioner Marino. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Good morning. That's on this one. Does anyone need a presentation on this?
I
Would
would
you-
like a brief presentation, please.
Sure. Would you please give us a brief presentation?
Sure. Good morning, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice
Morning.
Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. County Administrator. Just real quick, up here with me today, I have Deputy County Administrator Tammy Fields. To my right is Senior Manager of the Office of Small Business Development, Mr. Alan Gray. Our Department Director, Mr. Jonathan Brown. Next to him, our Deputy Director, Carlos Serrano. And at the end, our County Attorney, Mr. Richard Sena. Great. We'll go straight to it. Introducing the Small Business Ordinance. If adopted, nothing currently underway changes on January 1st. All active and advertised opportunities continue as is, with a structured transition period to avoid any county department or vendor disruption. Strengthening economic impact. This ordinance updates definitions, simplifies certification, standardizes evaluation preferences, and removes redundant language, all to support stronger, more consistent economic impact. Key changes from the prior EBO ordinance. These changes focus on alignment, simplification, and cleanup to make the program clearer and more consistent. And all amendments approved by this board on January 30 remain fully intact. Program structure and statutory updates. We clarify OSBD's core functions, certification, compliance, outreach, and program oversight. and ensure consistent terminology and statutory alignment across departments. Administrative and operational improvements. We strengthen good faith efforts, schedule requirements, and accountability through better tracking and timely payment enforcement. We also remove outdated caps, so evaluation preferences and subcontracting goals can be applied more consistently across procurements. Key points for administrative and operational improvements. Good faith efforts must now be submitted at the time of bid, and schedule expectations for primes and subs are clearly defined so the process is fair and predictable. Items moving to the Policies and Procedures Manual. To keep the ordinance strategic and streamlined, detailed procedures such as documentation lists, workflows, and evaluation mechanics move into the Policies and Procedures Manual. Strengthening small business enterprise certification standards. We simplify documentation requirements while maintaining strong eligibility standards so qualified local businesses can access certification more efficiently. Commercially useful function. We reinforce CUF requirements so that small business enterprises are truly performing the work they are credited for, protecting the integrity of the program. Defining clearer domicile requirements. We update domicile requirements to reflect the way businesses operate today, while ensuring firms still maintain a real economic footprint in Palm Beach County. Applying SBE credit during evaluation. Evaluation preferences now represent 15% of the total available points on a sliding scale, a fairer and more accurate approach for solicitations that exceed 100 points. Key points for evaluation preferences. We eliminate outdated thresholds and provide two clear, consistent methods for applying SBE evaluation points, making scoring more predictable and transparent. Certification and compliance functions. OSBD partners with departments throughout the contract life cycle to ensure primes meet SBE commitments and the compliance requirements are upheld. Supporting departments in compliance. We support departments with clearer guidance tools and monitoring so they can plan for participation, document performance, and address issues proactively. Program administration and department roles. We establish consistent expectations for identifying opportunities, early engaging SBEs, tracking timely payment, and reinforcing shared responsibility for meeting SBE goals. Keeping certified businesses informed and engaged. We keep certified businesses informed through portals, databases, outreach training, advisory committees, and publicly noticed goal-setting committee meetings, now updated to include the Director of Airports. Governance and oversight enhancements. We strengthen governance through clearer advisory structures and approved appeals process and cross-department accountability to ensure consistent program administration. Benefits to small businesses. Overall, this ordinance provides clearer rules, fairer scoring, stronger protections, and better access to opportunities while preserving all active solicitations through the transition. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. We do have 3 cards on this item I would like to take, so I'll turn it over to Commissioner Flores.
We have 2 microphones, so please come forward. Joseph Sanquez, Alex Muniz, and Estrella Parada.
Morning.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Joe Sarkis from Boulder Construction, small business from.
Would you please speak into the mic just so we can
Can
hear
you
you?
hear me now?
Perfect.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Good morning, Commissioners, Mayor, Vice Mayor. I'm Joe Sarkis from Boulder Construction, one small business from Palm Beach County. I'm over here to support the changes the Office of Small Business is doing. Well needed, and I think that will open the opportunity for us as a small business. We're the small engine of this county. We're local. I think that will help all of us and open the door for local business to grow and help the local economy to grow and all that will help the economy overall. So thank you very much for that, and keep supporting that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and County Commissioners.
Please
Good
state your
morning.
name for the record.
My name is Veronica Vidal. I'm a founder and business owner in Palm Beach County for 20 years. I own a not sexy, difficult industry, which is cleaning and maintenance. I'm an immigrant, and I opened this business in 2004. I think I am a live testimony of a strong office of a small business can help businesses to be successful. I use every single tool and program to educate myself in the business arena. I have a PhD in visual arts, which is nothing to do with running a business. I sat in the board for the small business office for 9 years. I think a healthy and a strong office really can make a difference in our small business in the county. Now, in my 9 years in the board, I've seen 2 disparity studies and things of that nature. I think some adjustments will help to make this work. Some communication between the small business, the procurement department, the risk management, on how to evaluate and put evaluation criteria in some of our bids and solicitations. I think that will be also a key part to work with the small business office to help our small business. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name's Alex Moniz. I'm a GC, local resident, and a small business owner. I'm here to support the small business because the office, they are actually helping with the streamlining, as they say, helping the application process, making it possible for small businesses like myself to be able to be in front of the projects that are going to actually be producing and that we can truly be a part of. So I just want to say thank you and support the office.
Thank you so much. Did you turn in a card as well?
I did. Yeah.
She, Estrella did. I think they were sharing their time.
Oh.
I'll let you speak, but if you wouldn't mind filling out a card of your own afterwards?
Yes, it was me.
Of course, please go ahead.
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of County Commissioners, Administrator. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak today. I'm here to support the Office of Small Business Development under the direction of the Director, Axel Miranda. In our last meeting, when we were here last time, he emphasized how important it is to get certified and to put local dollars in the local economy. This morning, you'll see a lot of small businesses here. They took from their day to be here, to be heard, for you to realize that they're here and they deserve that opportunity. From last I checked, it looks like there's about $7 billion with a B for procurement. And of that, I think 20%, correct me if I'm wrong, is about $1.4 billion with a B. And those should stay in the local economy. That means put in our local dollars to support our local small businesses, make sure they thrive. I know certifications have been an issue. They're not an issue anymore. We're collaborating, we're working together. Small businesses understand how important certifications are. Now let's remove roadblocks and let's make sure that after the certifications are taken care of, we really help the small businesses get local jobs. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. That was the last card. Yes. Okay. Just a couple of comments and then a question. One, I asked for you to give us an update because I thought it was a year ago, maybe it was 2, we made some pretty significant changes to the OEBO at the time ordinance where we stopped small businesses that had graduated from being kicked off of a job. And then I think we changed the caps all of those previous changes are now implemented into this new ordinance? Okay, just wanted to verify that because that was a pretty big lift not that long ago, and wanted to make sure all that work continued. And then we have, are any of the thresholds changing in this new ordinance from what we changed before?
No, Mayor. The thresholds remain the same. The thresholds that we were talking about changing had to do with the limits for the solicitation amounts and which we can apply, our affirmative initiative or setting goals. So we removed those limits.
Okay, and I did ask for an update on the goal-setting committee, because I know we're making a slight change on that. Can you just address that real quick? Oh, my time's up. I'm new at this, sorry.
Madam Vice Mayor, yes, and you all have in front of you somewhere in your stack of handouts, the one change that we're making to goal setting is that we are replacing public safety with airports. Airports being a real contributor and a partner to our department a lot, and a lot of work goes out there, so it just made a lot of sense.
Okay, and then the other somewhat significant change, though, it has to do with this board, is that we're changing the advisory committee. As of right now, there's 15 members, and there's set parameters for different industries. And you're proposing for us to change it to, we each appoint a district appointee and then have 4 at large that are specific to an industry?
Yes, Madam Vice Mayor, just one correction. It doesn't have to be someone actually in your district. It's just your appointment. So
Well, it's a district appointment. It's so each of us get one appointment.
I'm
Okay.
still learning certain things,
Okay.
I apologize. So the change there, Madam Vice Mayor, is due to race, gender. Out of the 15, if you'll notice, that list is also before you, somewhere there, whether they were a woman-owned enterprise or a Hispanic-owned enterprise, and then there were some chambers. So we also looked at what the rest of the county does with respects to boards and commissions, and for the most part, it's 9 to 11, so we reached the cap on 11. And we had heard that there was an interest in keeping aligned with the county, so whereas you all make appointments, we wanted to give you that opportunity as well. And again, it's our recommendation, Madam Vice Mayor.
Okay, and that was, I don't know if the rest of the board wants to discuss that we'll be making district appointments, and then we have 4, and is it important that we have a certain variety of representation on this, or, is everyone okay with, we just pick who we pick? Because I know before, it was kind of set up in a way to make sure all the industries were covered, and I know we need to get rid of the race and gender part of it to make it more neutral, but as far as, is it important to have the different types of small businesses represented, or how did you come up with the 4 at-large recommendations that we have?
The 4 at-large, Madam Vice Mayor, they come right off the original 15 list. They were there, so if you noticed, if you have the sheet in front of you, they're literally copied and pasted onto the bottom because we felt those were still very important sectors. And with respects to the 7 members that this board will appoint, we understand the importance to make sure that there's the right candidate is at the table, and we would like to work with each commissioner and supporting any advice that you may need or any research you may want. Ideally, we would want individuals representing the sectors where our small businesses are participating. So for instance, professional services, maybe an engineer, an architect, for example.
Okay, so I think maybe that is a little for, if anyone would like to discuss that, I'd like to hear from the rest of the board. I would just like to add, in my meeting with you, thank you for the meeting that we had.
Starting route to Rose and Shingle Creek.
Oh, we're leaving, I guess so.
I thank you. It was a pleasure to meet with you, Madam Vice Mayor.
Thank you. But I did just want to reiterate, part of our discussion was that for this new department moving forward, how important it is that as you certify businesses, which is a big part of this, is that we're not just certifying them for the sake of certifying them. It's to help them get business. And part of that is also partnering with our primes, which this department doesn't necessarily work with. That comes with the procurement and the RFPs that go out with our larger construction departments. However, when you have the goal-setting committee meetings that are going to set that percentage, and then we, are giving it out to the primes. When you bid, we're looking for 20, 30%, whatever you set up. We're also handing them a list of certified businesses who've done the work to become certified with us, and so that those primes can then reach out to them to fulfill that quota. Hopefully, we won't be receiving too many waivers, or if we are, it's because all of our small businesses are so busy, they just can't take on the work.
Exactly.
But part of the goal of this is really bridging that gap, which I know, this department doesn't necessarily, you have to work with the larger construction departments, but that's where we need this togetherness, so that your certified businesses have that very warm handoff to primes who are bidding this work, and that we can get those procurement dollars up and keep them in Palm Beach County, because that's the purpose of the small business. As they're here, their employees live and work here, and we're cycling that money through. So, thank you. But I know and that really starts with the goal setting part, which is the goal setting committee. It's really important, because that's how we're going to know, where we stand. And, we had a disparity study, which, we know what we needed to do with that. But it also helps us know how many businesses have certified with us. And future of this tracking, I want to know how many of them are winning the work, and we're paying our tax dollars to the small businesses. But for that, the rest of the board, if anybody would like to pipe in on just the committee part of it, I'd like to hear any feedback. Thank you.
Commissioner Sacks?
I'd like to congratulate y'all on doing this. The testimony that I heard today was brilliant. And this is exactly what we are as a county, is to help those who want to become part of our business community to have the tools that we can give them. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And thank you for the folks who are working on this and becoming a viable part of our business community. We welcome you, and we look forward to your continued success. Thank you, Ms. Miranda. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Weiss?
Thank you. Thank you for your work that you've put into this, and I think, as we know, we're spending taxpayer dollars, whether they're grants, whether they're ad valorem taxes that we collect, fees. It's all coming from our taxpayers here in Palm Beach County. So I think it is very important that we find ways to reinvest in our own workforce and our own businesses, and having the opportunity for small businesses to participate in the procurement process with government funds is very important, and we need to create as much of a level playing field as possible. So people see this as an opportunity that we want to invest in them and their business, because they've invested themselves in Palm Beach County. I have a question, though. One of the seats is a small business development center. Can somebody define what that means?
Well, Commissioner, thank you for your comments. We do have small business development centers across Palm Beach County. They're basically area departments and centers that focus on whether it's the skills that they need to get to the next level, or think about it also, sometimes they have accelerator, incubator components to it, and we have
So we have a business incubator program as one of the seats. We also have something called a small business development center, and I just wonder what the differentiation is.
The Small Business Development Center is housed within FAU, and it provides education to small businesses on how to grow, how to submit bids, various different educational opportunities.
So maybe having it defined as FAU's Small Business Center, so people know where to go if they're seeking that support.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have, if I saw that, I wouldn't know who we're referring to. And Jonathan?
I was going to say, I know they're housed at FAU. We just need to confirm that they're actually FAU's SBDC.
Right.
Okay.
But as you know, then that's what I was referring to, Commissioner. They'll develop, whether they need a business plan, they need help with certification, it just gives them whatever tools they need.
Right,
to
but there's a
succeed.
specific
Yep. We
seat
can
for a
change that.
specific organization, so it's not open to anybody who has, this says that they're a small business development center. Okay, all right. Very good. Thank you.
Commissioner Flores?
Yeah, first of all, to your department, I want to say thank you for spearheading this. I think this is sort of the first step in the right direction. And what I mean by the right direction, one of the things that I've heard over and over from these departments is it's very hard to navigate, to get certified, and to get contracts. So I think clearing up the ordinance is sort of that first step. But there's still a long way to go. I think you heard from Commissioner Woodward some of her concerns, making sure that the dollars go back to local businesses, that we are helping them grow, that we have a large pipeline of vendors that we are growing, because that's how with competition, that's how we're able to get competitive pricing when we go out for bids and RFPs. So to me, I think that's the first step. I would love to see the program where we aren't always giving the same people the same work, that we are expanding those networks, and that we're giving people an opportunity to grow. I'll use the speed bump example. When we were paying $30,000 for six speed bumps, which to me, I could probably find you a few people that could do it for a lot less than $6,000. So with more people in the market, I think we're going to have more competitive process. In regards to the question posed by Commissioner Woodward regarding the makeup of the board, I am fine with going with your recommendation. I think Commissioner Weiss wanted a little add-on, so I am perfectly fine, and I'll be happy to make the motion.
So I have a first then by Commissioner Flores. Second by Vice Mayor Woodward, but I still have comments from Commissioner Powell. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to come back and thank y'all for this presentation and the revision of this ordinance. Commissioner Woodward brought up the fact that in here was the thresholds, and I see under section 2-80.24 of the revisions, it does talk about the thresholds. The evaluation preference references a 15 points change to 15% of the total available points. But under there, you talk about removed project amount thresholds below and at or above $500,000 for evaluation preferences, but still provided 2 options for evaluation of evaluation points for SBE participation. What exactly does that mean in reference to this particular ordinance and the changes on it?
Commissioner Powell, I will ask Mr. Gray to speak to those comments. It's more operational day to day.
Yeah, thank you. So currently in the existing ordinance, there's a limit or a cap as to when we can apply an evaluation preference to a solicitation. And that was at $500,000 and the other one was at $5 million. So when we went back to redo the ordinance, we looked at those caps and said, well, because the solicitations are so much larger now, and I think those caps were put in because they were more or less geared to smaller contracts, figuring that the smaller businesses can only handle solicitations to that amount. So now that we're getting larger contracts and our small businesses are growing, we decided to remove those caps, so it allows us now to establish or put evaluation preferences or set goals for those solicitations that exceed that $500,000 cap and $5 million cap.
Thank you. Is that in reference to what Commissioner Woodward? Okay. And then I see that down below it also talks about the $5 million, removing that threshold for goods and other services subcontracting goal of API. Okay. And I have no problem with us selecting the members who will sit on that board. So that's it. Thank y'all.
So we have a first and a second. Do we have any cards? On this one, yes. Forgive me. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. We're going to move on to airports. Does anyone need a presentation? We have a few. Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve item, hold on. First, we're going to start with 6A1. I have a motion by Commissioner Flores. I have a second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor?
Wait.
Hold on.
One second.
Commissioner Woodward.
Just for the sake of the public who may be watching on this one, can you say that we are, or explain that we are voting on a valet service for the airport? Just a brief explanation? Okay.
Sure. This item will provide for online pre-booking reservations and valet services at the airport. We expect it'll take probably 3 to 4 months to implement the new services, just because we're buying equipment, have to hire staff in order to start the services. But
Did you say 3 to 4 months from now?
3 to 4 months.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that the public knows perhaps March or April of next year, we will have valet parking at the airport.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Moving on to 6A2, I'll entertain a motion for A and B. Commissioner Flores is the first. Second by, we'll give this one to Commissioner Sacks. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Moving on to 6A3, A and B. Commissioner Flores is the first. We'll give this one to Vice Mayor Woodward. It's the second. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Moving on to 6A4, A and B. Commissioner Flores is the first. Commissioner Sacks is the second. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0. Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Actually, I would like to comment on item 6A5.
Okay.
If you'd be so kind, this is about stormwater drains. And I know this not for all over, but we do see a need for mapping all of our stormwater drains. Is there a plan in the future for mapping of the stormwater system that pertains to the airport?
I don't think we have a current plan in order to do that, but I think that's a great point that we should include that in our annual facilities report. We do have those conducted every single year, and we can ensure that those are also inspected as well.
I know that we've had several issues in the north end of the county where culverts have been collapsing. So just want to put it out there that there may be a need in the future for an overall mapping of all of our stormwater drains.
And just for the board's benefit, engineering has been spinning up an operation like that and mapping all of the drainage structures, culverts, things of that sort, keeping airports and then other facilities in mind, parks, things of that sort as well. Good point, and if we need to expand it, we'll expand it, but the framework for that is in place.
Thank you.
We're also working in a long-term asset management plan that'll identify all of our assets using GIS technology. So certainly this is something that'll be included in that process. I believe it'll probably take us a year or so to gear all of that up, but that's something that we're moving forward with.
Thank you. Thank you for answering my questions. With that, I'll make the motion to approve 6A5, A and B.
I have a first from Commissioner Marino. I have a second from Vice Mayor Woodward, and I still have comments from Commissioner Flores. You're recognized.
I just want to take this opportunity to commend you on having the parking lot completely full. I got my message on social media. I was super excited about that. That means that there was a lot of people traveling and coming and visiting Palm Beach County. Hopefully they weren't all leaving. But regardless, I was very excited to see that. And I understand that you guys have the master plan coming before us sometime soon for the airport.
For Palm Beach International?
Yeah, is it the safety?
So we're in the process of updating, we'll be coming back with an item for an update to the overall master plan for Palm Beach International, primarily focusing on airfield and some key areas at the airport. We're also working on all of our general aviation master plans right now.
That's the one. Okay. I'm excited to see that. Thank you so much.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the Office of Financial Management and Budget, 6B1. This is in regards to the special election coming up.
Motion to approve.
I have a first by Commissioner Flores and a second by Commissioner Sacks. Does anyone have any questions All in favor, say aye.
Question, Madam
Any-
Mayor.
Commissioner Powell.
And it's not really a question, just so that for the benefit of those who are watching, they understand this is really important because there is going to be election. What we're doing right now, what does this mean? Just a small
Would you
presentation.
like to give us the 30-second version, Todd?
Madam Mayor, this is a special election for the House District 87 seat. Clerk Mike Caruso previously served in that seat, was appointed to Clerk of Courts by the governor, creates a vacancy, and therefore only by special election can those elections be filled. That primary is going to be on the January 13th, and the general election will be on March 24th.
And this is the added cost of that special election?
That's correct.
Will we be getting reimbursed?
Yes. we
Thank
will
you.
be
That is the important part.
Not
Yeah.
immediately, but we will eventually be getting reimbursement from the state
We
for
have,
that.
thank you so much. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 7-0.
And Madam Mayor, if I may, on this particular item, because we are approving the dollars for the special election, we do have to appoint the members of our board and outside members to the canvassing board. And so if we could get a motion to appoint Commissioner Maria Marino as a substitute member serving on the canvassing board for the HD 87 primary and general special elections in the 26 uniform municipal and potential runoff elections in place of the chair to the BCC. And then in addition, as an alternate member seat, a motion to appoint Commissioner Greg Weiss, Commissioner Joel Flores, Mr. Erwin Jacobowitz, and Mr. Robert Shalhoub per section 102.141 to serve in that capacity for those same elections.
Hold on. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I would definitely agree to having those members of our board appointed. I just want to make sure that we confirm in here January 13th, 2026 is the primary, Mr. Von Laren?
That's correct. January 13th, 2026 is the HD 27 primary. March 24th of 2026 is the general election, and then our municipal elections are March 10th, and then March 24th, the same day as the general for the HD 27 for the runoffs, if there are any in those municipal races.
Thank you for that. So those people who live in that particular district, just be cognizant and aware that you do have an election coming up for a state representative, and that's pretty important. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a first by Commissioner Flores and a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. On to Facilities and Development and Operations.
I'll make a motion.
61A, B, C, and D. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve items 6C1A, B, C, and D.
I have a first by Commissioner Marino. Second. A second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 7-0. Sorry you didn't get to sit down. Oh, gosh. Moving on to 6D1, Engineering and Public Works. We have cards on this item?
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the Board of Commissioners, Administrator Abruzzo. With me is Deputy County Administrator Pat Rutter, handing out copies of the presentation. It's my Deputy Joanne Keller from the County Attorney's Office, Liz Herman. I got this right. As soon as she gets started. What this is a reopening of a road for a construction project. It's Homewood Road.
It looks like you have a picture of this on the slides
We do.
in your presentation.
We do. And this is amending a resolution because the road was closed during the building of this development. It was in 1999, May 1899, that to close that road from access. And the map there shows location of the road, and also we have a bridge not too far away. And the purpose of this conversation is that we got to replace the bridge. When you replace the bridge, that access along the bridge is going to be completely secured during the construction of our project. Thereby, we need to reopen that road.
And this is in District 3, so Commissioner Flores, would you like to comment on anything?
Yeah.
I think this is pretty straightforward. It's, we have to do maintenance on a particular bridge. We met with the residents. We did a little town hall maybe a month and a half ago. I think some of the people that are going to speak are some of the people that attended that particular meeting. But we have to reopen this to be able to repair that. And that's pretty much it. I think that's, I'm in favor of moving this forward and getting some connectivity back into that particular area, especially with the construction of the bridge or the repairs of the bridge.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess my question is, in your presentation, it talks about the temporary reopening of the roadway.
Right.
And then in the backup on, or in the agenda item, it says that it's going to be a permanent reopening of the road.
Right, so initially, in our planning process, we looked at just for the construction, but in more conversations with the district commissioner, let's look at a permanent reopening for the connectivity standpoint.
So,
yes, sir.
Was this discussed at the meeting with the residents?
Yes, sir.
The permanent opening?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And we do have some cards, Commissioner Weiss. I believe they're here to speak. Yes, you're recognized, Commissioner Flores.
And then the last item that I want to bring up is, in that particular picture in your screen right now, on the top left corner, you see that, I think that's the
Bus depot, that's correct.
Bus depot. I think that was our primary concern, is where those buses are going to be turning. And we have talked to the school district to make sure that they continue on taking a right turn out of that bus depot instead of going into the community. We are going to put signage on there to prevent those buses from going into the neighborhood and cutting through. So we are working with the school district. We're also going to putting some signage up there to prevent that flow of traffic from the buses out into the neighborhoods.
Thank you. If you would, please take over for cards.
So we have, it looks like we have five non-speaking comments, which will be submitted to the clerk. And then speaking, we have Deanna Matty, Billy O'Brien, Gary Dukes, and Carolyn Dukes. And we have 2 microphones, so everybody please come forward.
Please state your name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Diana Matty. I'm here in my civilian capacity as a resident of Santa Fe Road, the area which is will be serviced by this construction project. Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Administrator Abruzzo, and staff, thank you for your time. There's a simple fix, I see it, to this agenda confusion of what we were told initially in our community meetings, where this was going to be temporary reopening of Homewood Road. I think if we omit from the agenda item the word permanent, and also where Homewood Road will remain open after the project, the residents all support this bridge being reconstructed. It's very important. It's an old bridge over a drainage ditch. But what we don't support is leaving that road open after the construction project ends. This has been in effect since 1999, and one of the reasons I moved into the neighborhood has that sort of dead-end feel to it. There's not cut-through traffic. On the other side of this, which is not reflected, the bus issue is a non-issue to me because I believe the school board will adhere to that. But just west of that is a large trucking company that has hundreds of tractor trailers coming in and out every day, a large car dealership that was built there, and an auto collision repair shop, which sees tow truck after tow truck, 53-foot-long trailers hauling vehicles in and out all day long. We don't have an agreement with them that I'm aware of to prevent them from going that way, or test driving cars for that matter through the neighborhood. I ask that the simple fix is that you do approve this agenda item to repair that bridge and to work on the road. But when it's done, give us our neighborhood back as we purchased, as we agreed, as was determined in 1999 was the best course of action because of the industrial district that was being built to the west and is now fully built out. So I thank you for your time, and please consider my recommendations for the striking of those permanent language from this agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
Billy Ray O'Brien III, and my house is actually 2497 Ranch House Road, which is not far from Homewood Road right there. Forgive me, I'm going to be all over the place. I just had a newborn on Saturday, and I had no idea
Congratulations.
Thank you. We had no idea about the verbiage change. So as far as we knew, it was going to be temporary. A funny standpoint, back when R99-856 was created, my parents were heavily involved in it. So I was born in the neighborhood, and I was born in '89. So when this happened, I was about 9, and we were never allowed to go anywhere past Ranch House Road, where I live, onto Florida Mango. We always had to be chaperoned because of how dangerous the traffic was. So I'm actually one of the kids that ended up buying in the neighborhood, and now this is my second son. My first son is 5. So he's starting to ride his bike, and he's not good at it. So we really need the neighborhood to stay safe. Also, I'm sorry, again, thank you for letting me be up here to talk. I appreciate it. One thing, like Diana said, on all the documentation that we received, it did say temporary. I believe there was a second one of these that was mailed out before this a while back, or another piece of paper that was close to it that literally labeled it temporary in the verbiage. And for example, like this one here, nothing here shows that it's going to be a temporary or permanent, so it's not like it was an intentional mislead, but none of the neighbors in the neighborhood have any idea that this is a permanent deal. There's no legend on the back of this that shows that it's going to be permanently removed or temporarily removed. And also, to back this up, because I live right on Florida Mango, so this is a problem for me. I went out yesterday, I left my wife in the hospital with my newborn and went home and got petitions signed by everybody that's on Florida Mango Road and Homewood Road that shows that they had no idea this was permanent. They literally have signatures here citing that it's a temporary resolution for Homewood Road being opened up. So I don't think we should continue this motion with it being a permanent fix. I don't see any benefit to our neighborhood having the gate open, like the doors open. I appreciate everybody working with the school board to try to prevent this, because in R99-856, if you actually read that, it states that they were worried about everybody with the traffic with the industrial area and the safety of the neighborhood because of kids and transportation and such. I agree that also the dealership is going to be driving down that road. They're going to do test drives. They're going to do drop-offs. And I don't know how much else to put to it. It's not going to add anything to our neighborhood. And I think it's unfair that my other neighbors, if I can prove that 37 or 32 people on that road didn't know that it was permanent, that means that the rest of the neighborhood is not here in person being spoken for. So at the very minimum, if you're going to try to push the motion, I think you should push it at a later date where we can verify with all of the residents, because I don't think this is fair and I don't think they know.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
Hi, Gary Dukes.
May I
Yeah,
interject?
excuse
I
me,
apologize.
Mr. Dukes. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
I just want to clarify. Can you go over all the notices that went out in the meeting? Because I think that's a little misleading that we didn't notify the residents. I just want to clarify that.
So the initial notices that have been sent
Please
out.
state your name for the
Thank you.
record.
Joanne Keller with the Engineering Department. The initial notices were sent out a couple of years ago, and the initial notices did include the words temporary reconnection. That has been since updated since the neighborhood meeting to show a reconnection without the word temporary in it.
Thank you.
And all of the notices that went out were sent out that way, correct?
The initial ones were all sent out showing temporary, and the most recent one was sent
So
out
that
that
was
way.
2 years ago, but all the ones that have been done in this last 6 months.
The one that was sent out last week, yes, which is the most recent one, last week.
Last week, and then we had a town hall previous to that,
First,
correct?
yeah.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that it's clear for the record.
Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
Appreciate it. We have, okay,
two
excuse me.
copies of it.
But this is what we're going to do. I want you to file, with the mayor's permission, the signatures that you have of the residents of that street, okay? I want that filed with the record. And then what we're going to do, with mayor's permission, of course, is we're going to find out exactly what happened with regard to notice is extremely important. Secondly, let me ask the engineering department, Mr. Ricks, what would it take to satisfy the residents of this street?
Well, because of the construction, you will have to close off Florida Mangle, and so we have to reconnect the road during the construction. It's a $2 million project. It'll take 9 to 12 months to finish the construction. So during that period, the road will have to be reconnected for the construction. Now, once the construction is done, then that road could be closed back up like it was before, or it could stay reconnected.
So in the engineering world,
Right, yes, ma'am.
does it make any difference to satisfy what the folks want in having that road closed and safe?
We could do either way.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sacks. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. You have a flyer there. I'd ask that we receive that. I'd like to see what it actually says. Thank you.
But I do not have the original from 2 years ago where it does say temporary. I apologize if it looked like I was playing in my phone. I was looking for my text from my wife because I couldn't remember when you guys sent it. 2 years is way, way out for this to change.
I understand. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then do we have the current flyer that went out?
This is it.
That is the current one. Okay,
Yeah,
so
this
we'll
is
take a
This is the
look
one that
at.
states September 29th, meeting that I couldn't attend because unfortunately my wife was pregnant.
I understand. Thank you.
Excuse me, Commissioner Weiss, I have a question for Attorney Kaufman. Do we need a motion to receive and file that, or can?
You actually don't. He can just submit it to the clerk.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
If you would please submit the petition
Or he
to
could
the
give it to
clerk.
me. Yeah, we're
please.
happy to
And
take
This was
it.
done last night. I left my wife and kid in the hospital to go do this because this has to get done.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just, for my own clarification, when you said the one from 2 years ago explicitly stated temporary, and then the one that you sent out this time says reconnection, is that, because you actually just said reconnection, I mean, is that meant to let the general public know that this is permanent versus temporary?
So 2 years ago, we did, just like staff indicated, that it was a temporary connection during the construction. We had a town hall meeting on the 25th. We sent notices out about 1,000 residents. And we had the word permanent in that flyer. And then for this meeting, we also sent another series of notice, 1,000 notices talking about a permanent reconnection.
This flyer says permanent?
Yeah. Can we see that flyer that you
Yeah,
sent?
sure.
Because we don't have it.
I mean, I think you hear from the board, it is a little concerning if we're saying that if the public didn't know, and if we're just using the word reconnect, and that's meant to tell them that I'm concerned that that's not sufficient.
It's the same flyer with a different date. Where does it say permanent?
It doesn't. Oh. It says reopened as an
Alternative route, the same thing I have circled here.
Which is, we're good with for the construction.
I guess
It
my
just says
question for,
reconnection.
excuse me, sir.
I'm sorry.
And my question for this, in this motion, I mean, if we were to go ahead and approve this as temporary, and you wanted to later like, have a little more neighborhood perhaps follow up to then decide on the permanence of this, is that something that we could do today, change it back to temporary, and then there could be community follow-up? I mean, who knows, maybe once it's reopened, the neighborhood would love it, but not to make that decision today but not hold up the bridge process. Is that,
That's doable.
okay?
Yeah, because the temporary is necessary in order to do the construction project. Now, once it's opened up, temporary for the construction project, and the construction project is done, we could definitely have more engagement with the community to see how they feel because it'd be 9 to 12 months while that road is open during the construction, and get some more feedback from the citizen, and then come back to the board for a final recommendation.
Okay, I mean, I would like to hear more from the district commissioner at this point, but I am concerned if we've sent out notice that, sometimes language to us, it's very apparent that what we meant, but we have to be explicit when you're changing something from temporary to permanent, and really, maybe even some big bold letters so that people absolutely know. Even if it's in the fine print, I'm just a little concerned that isn't sufficient. And I would not be comfortable at this point voting on permanent. But again, there's more lights, so.
Commissioner Sacks, do you mind if we get through public comment, or do you want to speak now?
Well, I just want to be sure to stay on this topic if I could. When you come back, and I think that's a good suggestion by the Vice Mayor, when you come back, I want to know the engineering difference between the two issues, whether it's permanent or temporary. And when I asked you that question a few minutes ago, there didn't seem to be a difference. And so if there is a business difference, then we need to hear about it for the businesses that are close to this bridge. But if there isn't, when you come back, which I think I agree with the Vice Mayor, will come back, I want to know what the difference is. Because initially, you said it was going to be open and not permanent. Now you come back and it's going to be permanent. Well, I want to know what was the compelling reason to change it from from open to non-open. And you can do that when you come back. But make sure that we all 7 have those reasons stated before we come and hear testimony. If you could, Mr. Ricks.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Is it Mr. Duke? Is that
Yes, Gary Dukes, lifelong resident of Palm Beach County, and I live in Ranch House Estates right there. As a concerned citizen, I attended all the meetings. I don't know where the reference to the 25th comes from, but the meeting was on the 29th. It was at the Palm Beach County Library. I attended, and we all spoke against permanent opening of that road. Nobody spoke in favor of permanently opening it. The reason it was closed in 1999 is because it's an industrial complex was built there. 26 years later, it is there. Now you also have the trucks, you also have all the employees using this road. You know, it's going to be a real problem in a residential neighborhood. Meadow Park School is right down the street. Too close for the children to ride a bus, so they all ride their bikes and they walk to school. If you open this to traffic, God help us. Also, at the meeting, I attended a meeting on the 29th, which was held in Green Acres, and that was held by, I guess, consultants for Palm Beach County, and nobody there seemed to have any interest in what we had to say. You know, I talked to, I was blue, and there was very little interest, and most of them had no idea what I was talking about. So that was not pleasant. Anyway, I would appreciate it if we could permanently close the road after the construction is completed.
I believe what you're referring to on the 29th was a transportation master plan in Green Acres
That's
Community
correct.
Center. Okay, just want to clarify that.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank
Please state
you.
your name for the record.
My name is Carolyn Dukes. And just so you know, there are no businesses in our neighborhood. It's on Congress Avenue. We're talking Florida Mango. So they would be coming through our neighborhood to get to Florida Mango. So in 1999, Homewood Road and Farmdale Road were closed as a condition for a zoning change. My husband and I worked on this project at that time. He just told you that. The school board agreed to close these roads as a condition for approval to build a warehouse along Homewood Road in 1989. Development of the parcel by the school board was delayed and the roads were not closed. In 1998, a private property owner, CHS Properties, petitioned for a zoning change to allow development of commercial warehouses in the area. As a condition of the zoning change, CHS Properties agreed to pay for the permanent closure of Homewood Road and Farmdale Road. CHS Properties fulfilled their obligation and permanently closed both roads at their expense. Since the roads have been closed, several warehouses have been built, and the school board has improved their parcel and currently utilize it for school buses with supporting facilities buildings. Many of the residents in our neighborhood bought their property because of the quiet traffic in the area. The resolution that closed the roads, R99-856, suggests that the Department of Engineering and Public Works has adopted permanent closure of county local streets to traffic, and it's ED-0-013, which outlines the procedures for closing local streets. The residents in this area have the understanding that the closure was permanent and would never be opened. While we do understand the need to open Homewood Road temporarily, we respectfully request it be closed as soon as the bridge work along Florida Mango Road is completed.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
I believe that concludes all the public comments. My comments are going to be brief. I don't know exactly how the verbiage went out. I do know that when I attended the meeting, it was reopening the road. I know that this has caused a little bit of stress from some of the neighborhoods, so I am going to make a motion to approve this on a temporary basis so that we can continue on with the project, and then we can revisit the reopening if that's what we want to revisit at a later time.
I have a first by Commissioner Flores, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 7-0.
I have a question. So for now, it's on a temporary basis, the reopening. When it's going to be revisited, will we be notified or will it be slipped under the rug?
Staff, please make sure they're notified.
Yeah, we'll make sure everyone's informed.
Thank you.
We have to come back for.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And where do I file these documents? I'm sorry? Okay.
With the clerk.
Awesome. Thank you. First time in here. Thank you very much.
Moving on to
Yeah, thank you.
6E1, Housing and Economic Development. Commissioner Flores, I need you for cards. (6E1) Do they have the same people? That's not here, this is what I mean. What I'm saying is they only get one card. We don't have one person trying to 3 minutes on this and 3 minutes on this and 3 minutes on this. Okay. All right. We're gonna, do you have a brief presentation? Does anyone need a presentation? Okay. Would you like to proceed?
Yes, question, Mayor. Well, let me introduce Howard Falcon, County Attorney's Office, Tammy Fields, Deputy County Administrator, Carlos Serrano, our Deputy Director, and Jeff Bolton, our Contracts Manager. As we go through the items, would you like us to go through them one by one, stop, or just go through the presentation?
What's the will of the board? Just do the presentation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. As you'll recall, in November 2022, the voters of Palm Beach County approved an issuance of up to $200 million of general obligation bonds. This funding is being made available through the Housing Bond Loan Program, offering low-cost financing to developers of rental and for-sale workforce and affordable housing. The most recent set of RFPs was issued in June of this year and has resulted in the projects that are being brought to you today for conceptual approval. After conceptual approval, the projects will go through underwriting, then be brought back to you for final approval. The for-sale housing RFP did not result in any responsive proposals, and there are no for-sale projects for your consideration today. Jeff Bolton is going to speak to the workforce housing RFP.
Excuse me, could you repeat that last part? Did you say there are no for-sale projects included today?
That is correct, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. The workforce housing program projects are for 60 to 110 AMI. We had 2 responsive projects. The first one is from Marina Annex, previously known as Judge Rogers Court. It is a requested amount of $15.3 million. It's going to provide 175 total units, 158 of which will be designated as county-assisted units. The county investment per unit will be $96,835 per unit for the 158 units. The second proposal is for Lake Worth Station. The requested amount is $1,059,223,000. It's located in Lake Worth, has 91 units, 13 of which are designated as county-assisted units. The remaining units are already obligations through the PB&Z Workforce Housing Program. The county investment will be $81,478 per unit. The summary is we're getting $16,359,223 for 171 units at 95.688 per unit.
Through the Affordable Housing RFP, there were 6 projects recommended for approval. The first was Wave at Potomac, entails construction of 200 multifamily units in unincorporated West Palm Beach. All of those units would be county-assisted. The developer, Onda Housing Group, requests a $10 million loan towards the $77 million total development cost. The county investment would be $50,000 per unit. Residences at Country Grove is construction of 106 multifamily units in Wellington, all county-assisted. The developer, New Rock Companies, requests $10 million towards the $51 million development cost. The county investment would be $94,340 per unit. The Residences at Country Landing is essentially a twin of the prior project there and is located on an adjacent parcel of land, 106 units, all county-assisted. Another request for $10 million loan towards a $51 million development cost at a county investment of $94,000 per unit. Residences at Martin Manor is construction of 105 multifamily housing units on the site of the Boca Raton Housing Authority's former Dixie Manor project. Boca Raton Housing Authority and its partner Atlantic Pacific Communities request $4.9 million towards their total $48 million development cost. All of the units would be county assisted at an investment of $47,495 per unit. Arise is the construction of 149 multifamily units in Lake Worth Beach. Paxton Development Group requests a $13.9 million loan towards the $55 million development cost. All of the units are county assisted at an investment of $93,431 per unit. Peace Village project is new construction of 104 multifamily units in unincorporated West Palm Beach. Green Mills Holdings and its partner, United Congregation Church of Christ, request a $5.1 million loan towards the $38 million total cost. All of the units are county assisted at an investment of $49,760 per unit. In total, the 6 recommended affordable projects request $54 million and would result in 770 county-assisted units at an average investment of $70,238 per unit.
And Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, the next 3 projects are 3 projects that are not being recommended for approval. I will share with you that one of the categories of scoring dealt with leverage. Any project that was requesting more than $125,000 per unit did not score well in the project and ultimately did not meet the 70-point threshold. The first project I'll present to you is 7th on Haverhill. Their request of $7.441 million, 101 units, 40 of which are county assisted. One of the things that we realized in conversations with this developer is that they asked for additional density from planning, zoning, and building. They were awarded additional density. They were under the impression that they could not count those units toward the county-assisted units. Had they counted those units toward county-assisted, they would have been under the 125. They would have been at 73,000. In later conversations with them, they are willing to do 101 units, but unfortunately, we could not change the proposal. They need to request that of the board as part of today's discussion. The second project's by the same developer, 2823 Broadway. Their request was 17,151 units that would all be county-assisted units. Their county investment was at 113,000.
Excuse me, one moment, sorry. Commissioner Flores, did you wish to speak now?
No, I'll wait till the
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, sorry about that. No, thank you, Vice Mayor. They scored a few points in leveraging, but they're doing, as other projects, a multi-story project with parking and commercial, and so that could have had some impact on their scoring and such. That project did not ultimately meet the 70% scoring threshold, and they're here today to talk to the board about that. And then the last project, City View, a $13 million request. They're doing a project in the city of Boynton Beach, 90 units, all of which would be county assisted. They too, multi-story building with parking and with some commercial space. Ultimately, it drove up the cost on those projects, that project, and they ultimately did not score well. They're here today to also share some information with the board today on this particular project. And I'll stop there, if that's okay. Those were the three projects, and then there are a couple other slides that are more summary slides.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, I want to go back to the 7th on Haverhill. Okay, go over that again, why they did not score well, because I'm seeing here that there's going to be 101 units that are under 60% AMI. However, it also says that there's only 40 designated county-assisted units.
Yes, sir.
Confusing.
So they were under the impression that they could only commit 40 units because the other units that they have in the project were attained through a density bonus. If this was a workforce housing project, we could not have counted those units. But because they actually requested additional density to do more affordable housing, we could count those units. And so as we spoke with them after the process began, they understood a lot more that, oh, we could have counted all 101 units, and we're willing to count 101 units. That would have brought their leveraging score down to 73. They would have received $73,000 per unit. They would have received the maximum points in that leveraging category, and they would have been in the recommended category today.
So if they're willing to do that today, could we not technically go and approve this because it would qualify? And I just want to make sure that, because otherwise we're going to have to wait another 6 months before it comes back before us. Is that correct?
The board can, yes, sir, the board can make that decision, but staff could not. We could not change their proposal.
Okay, so you're bringing it up to our attention because if we wanted to do something and they're willing to commit to that 100 or 101 units, they would technically qualify.
They would have met the scoring criteria and they would have been recommended for funding, yes, sir.
Do we have a representative from this particular project?
Yes, we do. Daniel Markowitz.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Danny Markowitz, Trey Bell Housing.
Would you care to explain how we can, are you willing to commit all 101 units to this 50-year county assisted units?
Yeah, 100%. It was, honestly, it was just some miscommunication during the question and answer segment of the workshop that staff ran. We were, like Jonathan Brown said, we were under the impression because of the way we attained our density that we were only allowed to use 40 of those units to apply for funding. The project was presented to the commissioners a couple times, to planning and zoning a couple times. It has always been 101 units of affordable housing. It's always been 60% AMI or below. Again, it was just a miscommunication between us and staff that made us submit an application as what you see. But yes, we're committed to all units being affordable, all units carrying the 50-year restriction. That's always what it was going to be. Unfortunately, like I said, it was just a miscommunication, and that's what we submitted.
Okay. Personally, I would be in favor of moving this forward if we have that commitment today. And from what it sounds like, it would qualify if that mistake wasn't. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then regarding City View, what was the issue in this one?
City View, their costs per unit ultimately led them to not scoring well. There were some other minor things, but that was the primary thing. Had they received maximum points on cost per unit? But in talking to the developer, they shared why the costs were, again, increased. From a staff perspective, while we understand it did not change necessarily, we couldn't change the proposal, and we shared with them to come today, share with the board, and the board can make a decision.
Okay. This was not so easy, it sounds like.
This was a little bit different. It wasn't because they're committing all the units, and all the units being committed still did not
qualify.
Did not, yes,
Okay,
sir.
so I'll leave this one alone. But the other one, I would be in favor of moving forward.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask my board, can we get through public comments and then we'll do another round?
Actually, could I ask the previous gentleman a question who was up here?
Okay, if we're going to do that, then Commissioner Weiss is actually recognized first.
Thank you. This really has to do with the process. I need a better understanding of how we communicate with our partners that they didn't understand how to do this properly. Is there an opportunity for them to come and talk with you all before they submit their proposal?
Yes, sir, Commissioner, and we believe we communicated the information, but we understand how there could be confusion because the workforce housing requirements are different than the affordable housing requirements under the bond program. The RFP clearly shows that if you were to, you're using units gained through density bonus for workforce housing, you could not. And so we just think that there was the confusion there.
Understood. Okay. Have you come up with a way to help make sure that going forward?
Yes, sir. We will just make it more explicit that that's workforce housing. It doesn't qualify, but affordable. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Also, I noticed in your slide, in your previous slide, you're counting the total cost or your square footage cost includes the non-residential portion. Why? Because our bond doesn't apply to that. Why are we using that in the calculation?
The total project cost is just the total project cost. We understand from the housing perspective that our dollars are going to go specifically to the housing units. We've had the conversation at least with 2823 Broadway and with City View, again, sharing how much of that cost is going to be for the commercial piece, how much of that cost is going to be toward the parking structure. But unless that's parsed out in the proposal, we wouldn't know anything other than total project.
Yeah, it needs to be clarified because as my understanding of that bond does not cover the utilization for those other uses.
You are correct.
So I think it needs to be broken out clearly. I also think that because the other thing is, as we're looking at these, I mean, the variation of cost per square foot is substantial. I think I noted it went from 312 to 450 a square foot. That's $138 a square foot. It's a very big difference. And, as we're trying to get as many of these units built, and obviously we want them built well, but that's a big difference in the cost, and to be able to better understand and honestly, it's to better utilize the resources we have, you would give a preference to those that are able to do it at a better price. I would think we all benefit from that. Go ahead.
we distinguish between the total cost and the amount of county investment.
I saw that.
And so when we're calculating the total cost, that includes the entire construction, and so we're just trying to show the difference in the construction. And so that's how we total cost for the total project, and then we take the total square footage just to get a square foot for comparison processes.
But I think, Mr. Bolton, I think at least maybe my simple mind, to better understand this is to look at the residential portion of these projects, if they're, in some cases, where obviously we're looking at mixed use.
Typically, we don't.
And in one case, it's a church.
We'll have to ask for it in future, but typically, we don't get a difference
Okay.
in just
And these
the-
are, and understanding, especially the one, in the case of 7th on Haverhill, where it's actually the church is underneath, that's a first time that's happened, and so understanding that there's a difference there, but, yeah. Just to give us a better understanding, and I'm happy to wait to put my comments on these until after we hear from the public.
We can certainly gather that information during the underwriting process that follows conceptual approval and have that level of detail available for the board when we come back for final approval.
And as a heads up for everyone, we are going to stop at 12, and we will take a lunch then. So, Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. My question is on the stack, and that's the listing of the different funding sources. And the 7th on Haverhill, I understand that the units part was, maybe there was a miscommunication there, but if I'm looking at this correctly, we are actually higher than the first mortgage with Capital One. And did we not put something in the parameters before that, this was meant to be gap financing. And if we are higher than the first mortgage, then we're not gap financing, we're financing. So, and I believe that happened on the 7th on Haverhill and the City View, where we are higher than the Citibank loan. Could I get an answer for that?
Yes, ma'am. So what you'll see in certain projects are the low-income housing tax credits, and because of the tax credit part, which again ultimately lowers the need on that first mortgage, it's the work that they've done that this board has requested to secure additional low-income assistance financing for the project that brought us under. But it's really the tax credits that they were successful in securing. So I hear what you're saying in terms of their first mortgage, but it's a testament to their ability to secure the additional dollars that has brought their first mortgage down. Ultimately, once it goes through financing, we'll see where the numbers.
Well, I can appreciate that, but the second mortgage is the taxpayer-funded bond that the people will have to pay back on their property tax bills, and they're already paying this back. So just a little concerned that the bank is getting to loan them less, not us. So, I don't love that, and I think we've somewhat discussed this before. Was it Village of Valor that kind of got kicked back, and then they came back with an impressive stack? They have found multiple partners, some additional equity, and we're getting ready to break ground on that one. So I would not want to move forward with this just because they're going to give us the additional units. I'd like to see some other entities have a little more skin in the game. And if they're able to get these tax credits, then ask us for less, not the bank. So
Yes, ma'am.
that's my opinion on that one. On any of them that are, if you're getting these, that you can ask for less money, I would request that you ask the taxpayers for less, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
I just want to comment on Commissioner Woodward or Vice Mayor Woodward's comments. I think if we're going to take that approach, then we have to change the guidelines to apply, because that changes everything on how they're submitting. Those rules were not stipulated in advance. So when they submitted this round of funding, that wasn't stipulated. So they didn't know that that's a criteria that we're requiring. So if we're going to do that, and I'm in favor of doing that moving forward, but it's changing the rules or the guidelines that we are, when we ask for, bids or proposals, that we do that in advance so that they know, because it's unfair for us to now to judge them on something that they weren't told before. That's sort of where I'm going with that point.
Understood, Commissioner. And one of the things we had focused on a lot more were the caps that the board has set, and we were making sure they were under the caps. What you'll see, at least with 7th on Haverhill and with Broadway, one of the other things I think that helped reduce their amount is that the positive arbitrage, the monies that they're receiving from their bonds that they could take back as the organization, they're reinvesting into the project. That too lowers the amount that they need on their first mortgage. I would imagine that's probably how they got lower than us, is the monies that they could have taken back themselves, they reinvested it into the project, and it shows as the positive arbitrage.
Can I respond? Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
I would just like to respond to that, and thank you for, this has been a work in progress that we've been trying to, as projects come along, we see something where it's like, wait a second, I don't like that. We don't know that till we see it. However, this project is recommended for denial anyway, and so is the other one that is higher. So, I mean, it's already recommended for denial based on the square footage costs, and I would argue that this, even though it's not explicitly noted that you can't go above, I would still recommend denial for both of these. So,
Madam Mayor, if I may also clarify that any of the projects that are recommended for denial, that is without prejudice, so that in any future rounds, if a project wants to resubmit, they will be free to do so.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you. I would agree with Commissioner Vice Mayor Woodward, and I also just want to say that we have an RFP process for a reason, and when we, on the fly here, change that process, I don't know what we're saying to the community at large. So I would like to see if the folks want to come back because they're being denied without prejudice, I would see that. I mean, I'd like to keep our RFP process intact, and those are my comments.
Commissioner Sachs, you're recognized.
Well, I agree with my colleagues, especially when Commissioner Flores brought up the fact that we had denied this one company, but there was a miscommunication. Now, are we going to amend the, and I'm looking at our attorney, can we amend the request and now from that denial put forward a support of it? Or is this really ready for prime time here? I'm very hesitant on this proposal because it seems like if there was a miscommunication by one, were there miscommunications by others? And if we deny it without prejudice, then are we going to put that out for RFP again? Frankly, I'm confused, Mr. Brown. And I think Commissioner Flores had a very good request. The developer came forward. He said there was a miscommunication. So do we move forward on the denial, or do we move forward, or do we, Madam Attorney, what do we do here?
I personally think the RFP is the RFP. And if they did not comply with the terms of the RFP, then they should go into the next round. The board always has some discretion to determine that the decision that was made in accordance to the criteria of the RFP was not the same decision that you would make. But it would be unfair to change the criteria of the RFP at this point in time.
I agree, absolutely agree.
It should be changed before the next round, and then they can incorporate the concerns of the board.
So in other words, if there was a miscommunication, it's denied without prejudice, he's got to come back.
Correct.
Okay. All right, it seems a little bit, Mr. Brown, seems a little bit tenuous here. We're dealing with housing that everybody needs. How quickly can you all come back with this second round?
The next round of RFPs are going to be issued in the first quarter, by March of 2026.
So we're losing 90 days on this.
Yes, ma'am.
And there could be differences in interest rates and I mean, it just, it just doesn't seem comfortable to me. I appreciate my colleagues. They brought up some issues, and so I'm just not comfortable with it right now. All right? Thank you, sir.
Mr. Brown, if we approve all these projects today, how much money is left in the $200
Great
million
question.
bond?
So if you approve all, I will look at the combined balance scenarios at the bottom, the last chart. If you approve all 11, there's 44.4 million. If you approve the recommended projects, there would be 81.9 million left.
But if we approve all of them and then include 7th on Haverhill, I believe it was called, into that.
If you were to just approve 7th on Haverhill at their 7.5 million, so you'd be talking about 74 and change
Left.
available. Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, as much as I am for making processes better and more simple, I do have to agree that at this point, are we going to change it again for the last round of the rest of this money? I would have to ask the board. But I'm going to hear back from my board members first before we go down that route. Commissioner Powell.
Madam Mayor, I went back and forth on this, but I believe that the process that's been put in place and has been properly vetted, these proposals will be, if they're not accepted today, they're without prejudice. The timeline, as Commissioner Weiss has indicated, may be challenging because we don't know what the future holds in terms of timelines. The challenge that we also have is we do have a process, the RFP process, and I understand miscommunication, but I also understand that, you know, there's opportunities to get it right, opportunities to go back and forth and say, hey, did we do this right? Maybe there should have been more communication before we got here today. It's just my thought that to be proper and in order, we leave things as they are. This is those that are not accepted are accepted without prejudice, and they have the opportunity to come back. I don't know if staff can move quicker than March, but I do believe that the process has been amended several times. It's been continued to be worked on, and I think staff has put it there. I do understand the challenge of miscommunication, but I also do understand in terms of planning and development that the project, as shown, could change when they are ready to submit completely. As you indicated, Commissioner Weiss, the church is under the housing. I don't know if anybody has ever been to church, and I don't know what kind of church everybody attends, but if you've ever lived next to a church, you know it may be sometimes extremely difficult to function because churches play music and sometimes preachers start preaching. I have been to quiet churches, but most of the churches I've been to, there's a difference between preaching and preaching. And it depends on what kind of church it will be, and it looks like a church where they will be preaching. It will be difficult to live under that. So they may end up making changes to that. So I don't know. But I think it's my opinion that the process has been put together, and the process is the process. Unfortunately, I would be in favor of moving forward with what we have today and the opportunity to come back.
Attorney Kaufman.
I just wanted to clarify, of course, this is the commissioner's policy that we're talking about. So the commissioners have the right to say that they would like it done sooner. It's your timeline, and staff is going to focus on your priorities. So obviously, you would have some input from the from your administrator, but it is your priorities that we're talking about. So I think this board should not be hesitant to make your wishes known.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, this is understanding it, and I think, and listening to where a lot of my colleagues are, I mean, clearly, had they put the numbers together as they were eligible to do, this would have qualified for support. So, and honestly, I was going to, before our county attorney spoke, was going to ask that, one of the things I had asked for before was that we not do this in rounds, that we just allow these projects to come in as they come in so that, we can get them built as quickly as possible. But that being said, what I would ask then is that I would go along with approving those that you all have approved, but with 7th on Haverhill, would support the denial as long as they can bring it back in January and have it resubmitted in January to you, so we don't just drag this thing out, because they're ready to go. And they've got everything in place that they need. I also agree with Commissioner Flores, and I support what Vice Mayor said. However, we don't change the rules behind us. We can do things going forward, and in this case, the tax credits. That explanation is a solid explanation as to why the mortgages are where they're at. So. If I could go ahead and make a motion to approve the items as supported by staff, with the denial of those denied by staff, with the with the requirement that 7th on Haverhill be brought back in January for rehearing.
Hold on, one sec. So we have a lot of cards before we can vote, but I do have a motion. So you don't want to include 7th on Haverhill to be approved today. You want to postpone it till January?
Correct.
And that's the motion. Do I have a second to that?
I'll do a second, but I think Jonathan was.
Just a question, Commissioner. So when we established the bond and it was approved by the voters, we talked about a competitive process. Do you want us to open up the RFP in January for all projects? Or are you saying just 7th and Haverhill? I just want to make sure we're clear.
I mean, it's been through the competitive process. Honestly, I mean, we would call this a Scrivener's error, or just, it was, because the units, there's 101 units there that are going to be built, that are all going to be affordable.
May I recommend an amendment to that motion?
Go right ahead,
Well,
Mayor.
could we at least approve 7th on Haverhill? Because I think everyone, when I was listening, was liked 7th on Haverhill for the most part. If not, then they could come back. But then does that interrupt our RFP process?
If the board decides either way on 7th and Haverhill, the next step is to go send it to underwriting, because that's really going to be the telltale for you if each project passes underwriting. And then we'll come back for a final, but it needs to go through underwriting.
Okay, so we'll leave that. We have a second by Commissioner Flores, but we have comment cards, and I have commissioners who still want to speak. I was going to try to get to our people that are here to speak publicly, so they're not waiting for us to go to lunch and come back to speak. Does anybody can we try to let them get through public comments? So
I just want to make sure this is a denial without prejudice.
Correct.
So that they
It'll
can
be
come back,
without
right? So the record
prejudice.
has to be clear, denial without prejudice, so you can come back in January. I just wanted to make the record clear on that, Mayor. Thank you.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Are we saying denial, or are we saying postponement to give them time frame to fix what they got to fix?
I believe a denial without prejudice is equivalent to a postponement.
But if we deny, do then they technically have to go through the RFP process again? So wouldn't it be better to just postpone, give them time to fix with you guys what the error was, and then come back to us in January?
Well, by giving the commitment today to the board, they fixed it. By giving the commitment to the board that they're going to commit all the units.
Yeah, I think we postponed that particular item, have them come back in January, which is what Commissioner Weiss recommended. Okay. We deny the one item, and then we approve the 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that an amended motion?
I'll take it.
Is that good?
Okay. We have a first by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Commissioner Flores. We do have a multiple amount of public speaking cards, so we're only going to give 2 minutes to try to give everyone a chance to speak. Please call them up, Commissioner Flores.
There are two podiums, so please come up, line up behind each other. I have Pastor Shayla Harvey. I have Justin Gilbert, Linda Odom.
Please state your name for the record.
Reverend Dr. Sheila Harvey, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of Peace Village.
Thank you so much. Next, we have
Justin Gilbert and Linda Odom. Justin Gilbert, thank you.
Thank you. Wave in support if you don't want to speak.
Do you need to follow a particular order? We're on the same item. She would like me to speak first? Is that all
What's
right
your name,
if I
sir?
speak? Francisco Rojo.
Francisco,
with
you're
Lambert
next.
Companies.
Yeah, go
Yes,
right ahead.
hi. We're here representing City View. Our main point on City View is, as has been mentioned, the criteria of funding takes into account the funding per unit for the county funding per unit for the project. And City View, what happens is that criteria looks at every project exactly the same. And what is different about City View is City View is the only development in this application cycle that is providing that is making available rental assistance for all of its senior residents. So what is happening is the rental assistance, to give you an idea, a typical one-bedroom unit here might rent for $1,100 under the tax credit program. Two-bedroom unit might rent for $1,200, $1,300. Under the City View model, City View is making available rental assistance. And the difference is it's for seniors. So seniors who are on a $600, $800 Social Security check, they will not pay more than 30% of their rent, of their income towards rent. So these seniors, they could pay $200 for a one-bedroom. They could pay $250 for a two-bedroom unit. That's an incredible benefit that the residents are getting. The other side of the coin of that is because the rental assistance requires the payment of prevailing wages or Davis-Bacon wages. So the issue is that the cost to build a project is higher than that of other projects on a comparable basis. And your criteria doesn't take that into account. So that is how City View is getting penalized. There's other elements of City View that I think there are more details than you may care to get into today. It's a very compact development, structured parking, et cetera. So it's in a very urban area in the city of Boynton Beach, very walkable. It's a more vertical type construction. So your criteria doesn't take that into account. Thank you.
And just to clarify, we are postponing City View, not denying it, right? Is that the one we're denying?
That's the one we're denying.
That's the one we're denying?
Yes, ma'am, that's what
Okay,
we were.
Thank you. Next, we have
I have Bonnie Miskell, who is waving in support. Yes, okay.
Thank you.
I have Andres De Felice, waving in
Thank you.
support. I have Daniel Morakowitz. I have Benji Powers, and ma'am, your name is?
I'm Linda Odom. I'm the Executive Director of the West Palm Beach Housing Authority. I'm here supporting the City View project. Just wanted to say that we have worked with Landmark for a very long time. We have successfully developed 450 affordable housing in Palm Beach County. So Landmark's reputation speaks for itself. So it also offers at this time 90 units of affordable housing exclusively for elderly, which will allow individuals to pay not more than 30% of their income in rent. And as Francisco said, because it has a project based attached to it, the cost of construction is higher. And so that is one of the reasons why leveraging has been affected. So I'm here to support City View. It's not just another development, it is a lifeline for our low-income seniors in Boynton Beach, Florida. So thank you for listening to me and for allowing me to speak today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do hope you reapply.
Danny Morakovich, Tribal Housing. I just wanted to thank staff and the commissioners for your consideration with Haverhill. Bringing it back in January sounds amazing. We're more than, looking forward to doing that. We're going to abide by all the rental restrictions, and everything that you guys want to put on the property is totally fine with us. If I might, we do have another project, Broadway, if I could just touch on that a little bit. I know it's getting denied, but I don't know if it's possible to bring that back in January as well, or if this is going back to the other RFP round. But it's a great project in a great location just north of downtown West Palm in an area that's seeing redevelopment. We have a partnership with the West Palm Beach Housing Authority. We're bringing in a rental assistance program that no other project is bringing in to bring in more deep affordability to the project. It is a little higher cost because it's 7 stories. There's a parking garage. There is some retail space. So I would just hope that the commissioners and mayor could take that into consideration when hopefully applying again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I got Benji Power, Jasmine Lynch, Jennifer Dixon. There's 2 podiums. Please come forward.
Good morning, good afternoon, Commissioners and Madam Mayor. Thank you for having us. Benji Power with Trey Bell Proceda Development Group. There's a few different names to our team. I'm with Danny Marakovitz's team. So we are a development team that is developing the 7th on Haverhill project and also the 2823 Broadway project. So understood on all the dialogue that happened before I spoke. We have very much enjoyed working with your county staff through this process. I'm a Miami native, raised there. Danny's Palm Beach based. Our firm has our Miami office, our Palm Beach office, and we are also have a New York office. So we have extensive experience, more than 40, 50 years, producing approximately 10,000 units of affordable housing. Palm Beach, myself being from Miami, is an area that is very close to my heart, and I'm up here all the time, and I know the change that's coming to your county. The affordable housing is needed urgently. We all know that, affordable and workforce, but affordable specifically. And our only, I would say, 2 or 3 comments regarding, as I heard your dialogue regarding the RFP process, bringing our project back 7th on Haverhill in January, that timing, excellent. If we can figure that out with your staff, how to clarify things, and it wasn't so much that we were miscommunicating, and again, I mentioned we enjoyed working with your staff, but at times we did feel we were getting different interpretations on the RFP rules. So we tried our hardest to comply. That was our intent. I worked many hours on that, so hurt ourselves by misunderstanding the rules there. On 2823 Broadway, we also had some similar items that we feel were not clear in the RFP rules. And so we did submit a protest. There was not an opportunity, obviously, for dialogue in the protest process. Some of the scoring that happened on the 2823 project misunderstood how the rental support from the Housing Authority plays out in the project. The rental support brings in what is known as housing assistance payment contracts. That successfully provides the project with market rate rents, which is how you build affordable housing. And without that market rate rent, you can't pull it off. The selections committee saw those and thought that represented higher than affordable rents, which was a mistake. And we mentioned that in our protest. That didn't work out, play out. So 2823 Broadway, we would also request if it could be considered for revisiting in January.
Thank you
very
so much.
Good morning, board members. I'm Pastor Jasmine Lynch from the West Palm Beach Seventh-day Baptist Church. First, I want to thank you for unanimously approving the site plan earlier this year. As a church, we have been working for over 30 years trying to build a respectable building for our church so that we can serve its members and its community. It is very difficult for a small church to raise the amount of money to build a church in Palm Beach County, and that is why we have partnered with Trebell and Proceda. Every time we have a back-to-school giveaway, a health fair, a summer educational program, we have to rent a tent, and that cost keeps going up. If we get the 7th at Haverhill built, our church will be on the bottom floor, and we will have the space to offer these services and more to our members, the community, and the tenants. I'm here to encourage you, to plead with you to grant the GAP fund that we are requesting you to approve today. I know you have just said come back in January and it's okay for the developer, but it's 30 years that we've been working to get a proper building in Palm Beach County to serve the community. And now we have the opportunity to build affordable housing for 101 families in Palm Beach County. And it's been a long wait. So I would encourage you to approve it today. And I thank you for what you have been doing for us and the support you have been giving us.
Thank you so much.
We have 4 cards left. I have Jennifer Dixon, Joy Fuller, Madge Granderson, and Garfield Miller.
Please state your name for the record.
I'm Jennifer Dixon from the West Palm Beach Seventh-day Baptist Church, and I want to thank you all for listening to us today and taking into account what we have to say. So I want to say good afternoon, because it's now afternoon, to our mayor, vice mayor, and all the other commissioners. I'm Jennifer Dixon, as I said, a retired educator from the Palm Beach County School District. As an educator, I'm passionate about helping the children of the community succeed academically. Also, as one of the founders of the church and now one of the youth directors of the church, I've always wanted the church to focus on programs that will help the young people of the community, such as homework assistance, tutoring, summer programs, and teaching the adults of the community English, because we have a community that has many languages, migrants, and so we would like to have a program that we can help them to be able to read and fill out applications that are in English also. As the young adults, and also we would like to help the young adults of the community navigate the system so they can become owners and how to utilize the various resources of Palm Beach County. These are a few of the programs we would like to facilitate at our church building. Someone may say, use the school in the community. My response to that is we would have to pay to use a school, but having our own facility, we won't have to pay. It is my hope that you will help us to help our future students of the Haverhill community succeed academically and help our migrant community learn some skills they need to function in America by approving the funding to erect this so needed low-income housing and community church facility. Thank you all very much, and we do hope that you will vote in the positive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Joy Fuller, and Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the County Board Commissioners. It's a pleasure being here. Again, my name is Joy Fuller, and I am a member of the West Palm Beach Seventh-day Baptist Church, which is situated on a fairly large piece of land on North Haverhill Road. It has been the goal of the church to erect a more spacious place for worship and accommodate other community activities. However, in our efforts to raise the funds to do so, we have not been able to gather the amount of money it would cost to build. When we decided to partner with the developer, whose plans are to lease the land, build some affordable houses, and also build the church, this proposal went farther than the church wanting a building. But we saw a larger picture, which would be unofficially partnering with the county in providing affordable housing for the community. On this basis, I was humbled to be asked to become a member of the building committee, affording me the opportunity to work alongside such an awesome project. I envision the land not only as a location for a more acceptable place of worship, but a place that participates in the goals of the county, one of which is to provide affordable housing for its residents. We would therefore appreciate if the application for funds be approved so that we can proceed with the project. Thank you very much for hearing us.
All right, and we have 3 remaining. Madge Granderson, Garfield Miller and Michelle Jacobs.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Madge Grandison. I'm a member of the West Palm Beach Seventh-day Baptist Church on Arbor Hill. I am respectfully asking you for your understanding and support in building low-income homes for those who are not able to rent or buy a home. This definitely is a need that needs to be considered. Because of the high cost of a home in West Palm Beach, my daughter, who is a registered nurse, was forced to purchase one in Port St. Lucie, which was more affordable. This is also taking toll on her driving to and fro to work here 5 days per week. I too have to sometimes assist her with her special needs child in Port St. Lucie. This also is challenging and costing to me. So receiving additional financial support in building these low-income homes would be very appreciated. Thanks in advance for your valuable time and consideration. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Garfield Miller, lead pastor of the West Palm Beach Seventh-day Baptist Church. I stand to just affirm the fact that the intent was to have 100% affordable housing. And our best outcome would have been to leave here with the approval, but we are certainly honored by the time that was taken to discuss our project. We really appreciate that. I want to explain that we did not arrive at this project without much thought. We have been at this for close to 3 years working on this particular project. One of the things that we have done, we have had our own training from an organization called Enterprise, because we wanted to be clear about what we were going into. And so for several months, we worked with them and we were able to understand what it is that we are looking at. And where we are at now, we know it is a novel project in many ways, but we really appreciate the work of the Board of Commissioners thus far in the approvals that we have had. I want to just remind us that this project being approved really speaks to an extended partnership between ourselves and this body. It was probably 3 years ago that we got the proclamation as it relates to 30 years of service in the West Palm Beach community, or the Palm Beach community. And we believe that this will also just extend our reach a little bit more in the community. So we are looking at working in the community. We're looking at working with your organization, your body. And so we're just looking forward to the approval. Hope it can still happen today, but we could also wait until January. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, County Commissioners, County Administrator Abruzzo, Michelle Jacobs, Economic Council. I'm also here as an Executive Committee member for the Housing Leadership Council. So I'm here to talk more about the remaining funds for the RFP program, and I'm going to talk really fast. There was a letter that was submitted to Jonathan Brown, and I believe a copy went to you all from the Housing Leadership Council. And I'm going to just make a couple of comments related to the letter, of which one of the things that came up at the beginning of this conversation was the fact that there were no RFP applications for sale housing, which is really concerning. So the Housing Leadership Council made a couple of recommendations which we support that could perhaps help with that problem. The first being using, this is a program that's being proposed for the Home Buyer Matcher Program for home sale housing produced using the bond proceeds for construction of finance, using those payment in lieu funds. That project being spearheaded by Vice Mayor is a great project, or a great strategy, and we really feel like that will make a difference. In addition, allowing not-profit developers that are developing for sale housing to access more than one subsidy source. So not-for-profit developers often undertake small-scale infill projects to produce for sale housing, resulting in a higher cost per unit. We saw a little bit of that today. County planning staff previously indicated that existing policy permits more than one subsidy, but application of this policy has been inconsistent. So we respectfully request a clear policy that permits a nonprofit developer to receive land at a discount that would enable them to benefit from financial support, such as gap financing. The other comments that were made in this letter related to workforce rental housing also talk about some additional measures that could increase the number of rental housing applications to the RFP for mixed income projects. I will make sure that you all have this letter if you haven't seen it. And what I would just ask is if there's an opportunity for us to meet with county staff to talk more about the remaining 75 million or 80 million that could be allocated, that some of these things could be incorporated to the process. Thank you.
Michelle, don't go anywhere. I have
Not
lights.
going anywhere.
Commissioner Flores.
So my comments are in line with some of the comments you made regarding for sale properties, and we really have to look at this. I mean, we have to give people an opportunity at home ownership, and I understand the program, the 50,000 match that we just created, but that does not create inventory. We need to create inventory for, at the lower level tiers, because that is what is, when we talk about inventory shortage, that's where the massive gap is. It's at the lower end. How do we allow people to go back into a 250, 300, perhaps even 400,000 townhome? That's where we really need to explore opportunities, look for different ways, partnerships that we are really making a dent. I really thought when we were selling this bond 3 years ago, we were going to be making a dent there. I thought we were going to split the money 50-50, 100,000, 100,000. It has not even been close. I want to put the money to work, but I also want to be able to put some inventory in the for sale side. And we have, I think we have 4 units. Is that correct? Four? There was a little project. Oh, 8 units. Okay. So I implore you and your team to get creative on how we create for sale inventory. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Vice Mayor Woodward.
Thank you, and thank you for that, for the for sale, because, we did have some discussion, could we use the bond for the match, and we can't. But I think it would help for us to maybe have some legal counsel on the bond, all the different options that are legally allowed with how this bond was presented and what it is, what we can do for sale. This is a lot of rental units. Everything is rentals with this.
Rental.
And we have to do something for sale. So thank you for bringing that up, and that you hear the members of this board, we agree. Help us figure this out too, because there's laws that dictate this bond that I think it would help for us to have a little better understanding, and even the general public. Creative ideas can come out of anywhere. So if they're listening when we have this discussion, you tell us what that bond can be used for. Who knows what great new ideas may come from that. So thank you for that. I did, not to harp on this, I did just want to ask one question on the bond. Any of the ones that we've approved, have we ever been the higher loan?
No.
And even on this, if we were to be the higher loan, we're still secondary to the bank. Is that correct?
In our typical programs, we would not be more than the bank. And if we would request first lien position, and the first mortgage lender would say no. And then the county would be in a position to make a decision on whether we want to support that project or not. And that's why I say underwriting being the next step, and then ultimately coming back to the board for a final decision would help kind of parse out the numbers a little bit more.
Okay, so with that being said, I will not be voting for approval. I know that this wasn't part of the RFP, but it never came up before. And it didn't need to be a part of it, because I think we just made the assumption that no one would come in asking for more than their bank loan. So I will not be supporting any project that comes forward with that. Whether or not it's part of the RFP, to me, it's just one of those things. We shouldn't have to put that in writing. That's where I stand on that. So however the amended vote, I would like to know if I'm voting for or against this. It has to do with these projects. So if we could do them one by one, or if it's a one lump sum, I will be voting against this. But if we can separate them out, then that's how I would ask for the vote to be taken, please.
Commissioner Sachs, you're recognized.
I think, thank you, Vice Mayor. You have really proposed an excellent idea on housing, and I appreciate that, and I also appreciate very much your suggestions. I just don't think we're, as they say, ready for prime time on this. I hesitate, and I'm again looking at our attorney. Is it possible to, Mayor? Is it possible to postpone this entire? Because I'm hearing from so many different voices, and it just seems, again, as I said before. It just doesn't seem ready, and I wish, and I don't know, I don't talk to my colleagues, but nobody came in to talk to me about this. I don't know if any of my colleagues had the benefit of having staff come in and talk to them about it, but I didn't, and I think a couple of us did not, and I think that maybe, and I agree with our Vice Mayor that this is not something that is necessarily ripe for us to vote on one way or the other. So I'll leave it up to you, Mayor.
We will do a roll call vote. We have a first from Commissioner Weiss. We have a second from Commissioner Flores. And to clarify what that motion is, it is to approve item 6E1A, 1 through 6. And then under B, we will be postponing number 1 and denying 2 and 3. And C, to authorize. That is the motion and the second. Roll call vote, please, clerk, if you will.
Yes. Commissioner Flores? Yes. Commissioner Marino?
I need clarification on exactly what we're voting on. I'm sorry.
So we are voting on item 6C1A, 1 through 6 to be approved.
Can we vote on 6E1A1 and then 2 and then 3?
That's not the item.
That isn't the motion.
Okay, then.
And then B, 1 would be postponed, 2 and 3 would be denied.
Could I clarify something real quick?
Sure.
The motion is a postponement on item, or 7th
But
and
the denial
Haverhill.
is also, is that what you were getting at without?
No, I was just saying that voting for this today does not necessarily approve 7th and Haverhill, that it's going to come back to us. I just want to
postponing
clarify
it
that.
till
Yeah,
January.
Postponed.
So for clarification, can we vote on these two items separately? Can we vote on E1A as one item and EB1, 2, and 3 as another item?
Well, we currently have a motion that we're voting on.
So I will offer a substitute motion that we vote on each of these as a group separately.
Second.
Okay.
And I have a second.
Can you have a substitute when you're already voting?
I was the person who was the next person to vote, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we already started taking a vote.
No, then you should finish the vote.
Thank you. I have, so please continue, clerk.
I will approve.
Yep, she is yes.
Yes. Commissioner Powell?
Yes.
Commissioner Sacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Weiss?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Woodward?
No.
Mayor Baxter?
Yes.
6-1.
Thank you. Please see that it passes. We, at this time, are going to take a break for
Mayor.
lunch.
Madam
We-
Mayor,
Yes,
did we handle the C part of that?
I said C.
Nobody made that motion, though.
When I clarified the motion, I said C, but we can do that again.
Someone else needs to make the
I need to entertain a
motion.
motion for 6E1C. I have a first by Commissioner Flores, a second by Commissioner Sacks. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 7-0.
Mayor, with your permission, we can bring this back to seek the board's direction because we want to get the next housing bond done for March. But we want to make sure we know how you want to allocate the dollars because it'll be a lot more competitive this time.
And just to clarify, I'm going to say one comment before we break. I would be in favor of only allowing the rest of the dollars available to go towards for sale. I mean, I feel like nothing else is sinking in because we keep seeing rental after rental after rental. So we really do need to get serious about this. I think you've heard this entire board say, we want to see more for sale.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we'll
Well,
talk.
Can we, yeah.
Later.
So we're going to break until matters by the public, and then after matters by the public, we will resume the meeting at 2.
62 has,
62 was not approved. The workforce projects were not.
Correct, 62 will be after matters by the public. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome to Palm Beach County's Community Bulletin Board. Stay tuned to find important information on county services including Palm Tran routes, road construction and closures, bids for county services, government employment, Crime Stoppers, PBC TV 20 programming, meet your commissioners, events and announcements, and much more.